Hey guys, Jigen. This one would be what if Naruto was an Uchiha. This one basically, Naruto would be the cousin of Shisui, as Minato would be the brother of one of Shisui's parents, and then with that, Naruto was born, being the cousin of Shisui. With that, Shisui would raise Naruto, but Fugaku actually helps out a lot, because there's two orphans living together now. Shisui's like 7 years old when he has to raise Naruto, so... She's like 7 or 8 when he has to raise Naruto. So Fugaku pitches in a lot alongside Mikoto, who teaches Shisui a few things about parenting. Alongside Fugaku, teaches Shisui a few things about training. So with this, well, Naruto actually grew up decently close to Itachi, Mikoto, Fugaku. Like, he grew up close with Sasuke's family and Shisui. By the time Naruto was 4 years old, Shisui began his training with Taijutsu and the basic of chakra. And actually, Fugaku kind of heard about this and thought it'd be good for Sasuke to learn as well. So, yeah. But with this, we should go on to basically see Naruto, who ends up, by the time he's 6 years old, he awakens awakens to Sharingan. When he awakens to Sharingan, let me go over one thing right now, just so in case I forget in the future. Naruto was able to awaken Mangekyo due to the fact that, what is it? He's able to awaken him on Gekyo Sharingan to the fact that he's the reincarnation of Asha, which is a direct descendant from Hagoromo. And with that, Naruto, with this, he's able to more or less, be able to, how do I say it? With Hagoromo's DNA and plus, just direct ties to him and having Hagoromo's body, he's able to awaken a Mangekyo with really no problems. So he can just awaken it just through training, and that's really it. But he's not going to do that but at 6 years old, he's not going to be able to do that. But Naruto just eventually ends up basically going on. 6 years old, he awakens to Sharingan, being the youngest Uchiha to do so. And this she does make Sasuke jealous of Naruto. But Naruto proceeds to treat Sasuke like an equal no matter what. Despite Naruto being smarter, stronger, he's better than Sasuke in every single category. It's just, he treats Sasuke like an equal, which actually makes Sasuke, Itachi, and Shisui Fugaku, all of them are shocked that Naruto treats Sasuke as an equal, despite obviously being better than him in every single way. So yeah. But Naruto does eventually end up going on to, basically, he goes on to more or less, I have to think about this. Okay, forget it. So, by the time Naruto's 7 years old, he can use his 120 pretty averagely. And by the time the Uchiha Massacre happens, Naruto would have awakened a 220 Sharingan. Someone actually did point this out, that Naruto in 6 years probably should have just awakened a 3 Tomoe at least. And that would be very bad if he didn't. And the reason I gave for it was actually very bad. I do admit that. He's focused on reaching Sasuke, not himself. He was, but he also had to train Sasuke. So, that training, he's able to awaken a 3 Tomoe Sharingan, but only in one eye. The thing is, he keeps that from Sasuke and just tells Sasuke that his eye has too much strain, so he doesn't use that eye. If he uses to let Sasuke know, he has a 3 Tomoe Sharingan. But he's he's able to do a crap ton of jutsu. He can do the body flicker just about as good as Shisui could when he was younger. We saw Shisui be able to make after images. And this Naruto can do that better than Shisui could, as Shisui was his age when he began doing it. Shisui's 13 or 14. You have Naruto who's 12 or 13, being able to do the body flicker on that level. Even surpassing that, as he makes it in his Krogen Jutsu. Naruto's running S-ranking Genjutsu, Shisui's already master at it, so Naruto basically been taught how to do so. But eventually, Naruto is more or less being able to taught how to do fire style, and he's able to do one lightning style jutsu, only one. But, yeah. But we move on to basically just Naruto at the academy. Naruto actually, like I said before, he's better than Sasuke in basically every single way. Well, not on looks, people don't really like Naruto. The fact, no one really likes Naruto. It's just, he knows that he cannot be a hateful person because he gives into the Uchiha way. She wanted Naruto to be better than, She wants Naruto to be better than Uchiha. So with this, with that, Shisui more or less is, he taught Naruto to never have hatred. So Naruto's a very good person, so to say. But eventually, with this, we just go into basically Naruto in the academy. He graduated as Rookie of the Year, being more intelligent than Sasuke, being stronger in every single way. He has, Pause real quick. But Naruto is Rookie of the Year. He has basically A or S rank in literally everything. His lowest grade is a B rank, and that's in Taijutsu. But Naruto can actually push that up to an A rank due to the fact that he knows how to infuse his body with chakra on an elite level. Like, he can push his body to the point where he can match Rock Lee in power and speed. So, yeah. And I'm talking about weightless Rock Lee, not weighted Rock Lee. He's around weighted Rock Lee level in power and speed alone, just not technique. But then he can push himself beyond that to weightless Lee just by infusing his body with chakra. So, yeah. But we'll move on past that to basically their team being formed. Kakashi actually wanted Naruto to... Well, not Kakashi, but... basically... Well, what was it? So he basically wanted a team full of Kekkei users, basically visual ones, to be put on one team, and they're going to be taught by Kekkei, well, master as well. Alright. So this, we basically just, they have two teachers. Well, Hiashi doesn't really like this, but he likes the fact that he probably teach the Uchiha to actually abandon their Uchiha ways, and they can actually, well, now, what was it? So basically what he actually wants to do, he wants to basically sway the Uchiha into moving into the... He wants to sway the Uchiha into moving into the Hyuga bloodline, so they can actually adapt the Sharingan. He actually basically wants Naruto Sasuke to marry Hinata, so they can adapt the Sharingan into the Uchiha bloodline, into the Hyuga bloodline. So the fact that the Sharingan is a lot better, not Sharingan, so Byakugan can advance and be better than the... Not be better. He wants Sharingan in the Hyuga bloodline, so the Sharingan can eventually leave existence, being exposed to the, well, part of the Byakugan, and be absorbed into it. He wants those things to be fused, and just to the point where he can actually, well, wipe out the Uchiha just through intercourse. So he actually also step in because Hinata doesn't seem to be a good clan head, well, at least a suited one. So he also wants to train her. And, well, Kakashi knows this and says that he should prefer someone else to step in and teach, but he doesn't know anyone else with a Kekkei to actually teach this team. So, well, they have to keep looking for a while. So, yeah. Pause real quick. The best way I can see this is probably just Hiashi and Kakashi leading the team. So, yeah, those are the ones leading the team, as they're the only ones with Dojutsu and Konoha that are the strongest. So this Hiashi will instruct them on taijutsu and physical training. Kakashi will instruct them on chakra and ninjutsu training, and those two combined will actually help with education purposes. But due to the team being led by two insanely strong shinobi, they are both going to be these two combined and just the shinobi in general are going to be going on beyond S rank mission, beyond B rank missions, maybe even beyond C ranks and maybe even beyond B ranks. The first mission actually is in fact a C rank. This mission is more or less basically investigate a bridge builder as a merchant tried to get to Land of Waves, but someone scared him off, and the merchant done some digging on Gato, and hired a few shinobi to investigate him, saying it could be potentially dangerous. So with this, we just go on to basically just have like Naruto and Hinata being the ones to investigate. Sasuke is actually going to be one that's actually searching the area and is going to be a lookout. Now, if you guys are curious about Sasuke's Sharingan, he has 120 in both eyes, so he's like kind of not too strong, but he's not too weak. So yeah. But yeah, so Naruto and Hinata are basically scouting out the areas. Naruto's also a sensory ninja. He's really good at it. He'll basically scout out Gato's whole hideout and basically sneak inside and not be detected. He really taught Naruto basically to exude bloodlust, to hide his presence. Naruto's Anbu level training. No one except Zabuza is probably going to find Naruto, and I doubt Zabuza's even here right now. I doubt Gato even doesn't have the thought of hiring him. But Naruto's basically sneaking around the whole area and is able to basically find out everything. Eventually, he actually finds where all the money is, and all the guards in there are pretty weak. He'll place them all under B-rank genjutsu, and this makes them all pass out just through their body being under extreme stress. They pass out. They faint. This is when Naruto grabbed all the money, put it into one scroll, then left. As he left Gato basically went into the room, and as he went into the room, well, he could not find a single thing, except these knockout guards whose bodies are just like shaking in random ways. When Naruto left, he pulled out the giant scroll, just talking about just holding up all the money, which is shocked. Well, shocked actually they found all that money, and he actually said, "We'll bring it back to Konoha." Naruto said, no, they're not. They're going to give it to Land of Waves. This is obviously their money. Higashi then says, estimating how poor the village is, I can say at least half of it's theirs. The other half should go to Konoha, or my clan specifically. Naruto said, if anything, it should go to him and Sasuke. He found it first. Higashi actually punched Naruto right in the face, saying, an innocent child like you has no family, you don't need the money, nor do you dirty Uchihas deserve it. Sasuke is pretty pissed off, but Naruto calmed him down, telling Sasuke not to worry. Higashi is just some old man who's stuck living in the past, and that people stuck in the past usually die. So Higashi's time will come soon. So Sasuke shouldn't get too upset about it. Higashi actually shocked that Naruto was this calm after being punched in the face, and he's still standing, by the way. He didn't even, his head turned like an inch after being punched in the face by Higashi. He didn't care. When Naruto said that, instead, he'll give all the money to Land Waves, and if Higashi wants to stop him, he'll have to kill him. Higashi kind of began shaking because he can't kill Naruto, or else he'll be arrested, or his whole clan will be kicked out of Konoha. So yeah. Naruto as Higashi tries to grab Naruto, he body flickered away into multiple clones. But as Higashi thought he grabbed the real, Naruto just poofed into crows and Naruto's already gone. Then Higashi immediately realized that he had punched a clone. It was just a 10% clone. He could not be taken out with one punch. And Sasuke pointed it out, saying, "Oh, that's why his chakra levels felt so weak. He wasn't even here the whole time. I doubt the moment he found the money, he left the Land of Waves." Higashi immediately began running off, trying to find Naruto with his Byakugan, but Naruto was simply so fast. He already got to the Land of Waves in just a few minutes, even though it should have taken hours. He got there in around 15 minutes. So with this, he's able to more or less turn the money into Tazuna, as he said that someone hired, a merchant guy kept out nervous for land until they hired him to investigate Gato, and basically got all the money that Gato had and giving it back to Land of Waves. Gives him all the money, and immediately with this, Tazuna's extremely thankful. He's even crying. But suddenly, Tazuna would yell, "Look out!" Naruto put up a kunai, and the kunai is infused with chakra, and someone's sword had shattered right on impact of the kunai. So yeah, the kunai, the guard, the bandit looks at Naruto being in shock, and Naruto basically saw by the giant bandit army. Naruto said, none of you can be even higher than the rank of Genin. This is kind of sad. It's going to be a complete wash for me. That's how strong Naruto is, and Naruto decides to lie, because they know he's a shinobi. Naruto said he's a Chunin, depending on the rank of Jonin. Immediately, everyone's jaw drops, and they tell Tazuna they don't know if they can handle this. He's a Jonin, and he's a kid, so he's bound to be stronger than most adults. Because some of them know the legend of Kakashi of the Sharingan. They know the legends of him. But Naruto had pulled out a sword, as he actually has a sword with him. He kind of has it all at all times. It's kind of the sword that Shisui used. It's the same sword. Naruto is actually the exact same sword. They gave it to Naruto after Shisui had died. They found his corpse and everything. By the way, Naruto does not think Itachi killed Shisui at all. I mean, he doesn't want to kill Itachi at all either. Sasuke's the only one that wants to kill. That's the one that wants to kill Itachi. He's the only one. But I'm back to this. So Naruto pulled out his sword and infused with lightning chakra, saying that he can use all five natures. And, well, he is truly a Genin. He's not depending like a Jonin. He can use all five natures pretty decently. Naruto he can only use lightning, wind, and fire. That's really it. But still, that's a lot of natures for someone who's 12. This actually still scares them all as they try to attack Naruto and they jump at him. But suddenly Naruto disappeared as his blade was covered in lightning. And Naruto sheathed the blade, saying, lightning-style thunderclap. A loud boom is heard as he's behind them all, and their bodies fall to pieces. Now he's just staring down Gato, then puts him under Genjutsu so strong, Gato's body's tricked into dying. Gato had fallen over, basically just having a seizure and dying. Naruto took all their clothing, as he deemed it all pretty worthy. He left the underwear on them, though, so, yeah. He either left the underwear, or the bra, and whatever else they wear, so, yeah. But Naruto does eventually end up basically taking all of everything, and they put it in a bag, saying he's going to actually turn all this in, as this is, all the clothes here are pretty expensive. They're probably just about probably worth about half the money that Land of Waves has, currently. So Naruto basically eventually left, and as he leaves, well, he's still abandoned his team. They don't know where he is. But eventually, when he saw them walking in the office, they questioned, what's it take so long? Naruto said the guy should have been with him. And Higashi says, damn brat, what did he do with the money? And he says, "What money?" He gave us a bit of money, but not a lot of it. It was like enough to fund us to fund a small clan. I guess it was enough money to fund a clan hmm. Well, it wouldn't be in a lot of people, but I guess it'd be a small clan. I'd say probably about the size of at least 13 members. And this is just like a random estimation. Like, this is like just me honestly giving the estimation when Hiruzen says it's a small clan. It's like enough money for a small clan. This makes Hiyashi just scoff, saying, "That damn brat. All the money he got was supposed to be for the village." Now, Hiyashi immediately lies to Hiruzen, but Kakashi clears up the whole truth, and Hiruzen said that Hiyashi was in the wrong, and Hiyashi should also be punished for hitting a fellow shinobi for no reason. So with this, Hiruzen is more or less just appalled at Hiyashi's action about lying about a 12-year-old. But this honestly clears up the whole Land of Waves things before it even begins. Naruto, this is their first mission they've ever done, but it's like around like 3 days after becoming a genin, just 3 days after. So they have 2 months of just sheer training, only training. Then they have like an additional 2 weeks until Chunin exams happen, so they have around like 2 weeks and a half, not 2 weeks, but 2 months and a half, so yeah. So there's time Naruto had begun training with Kakashi, and Hinata and Sasuke began training with Hiyashi. Because Kakashi actually wanted to teach Naruto something special that only advanced Sharingan can do. Kakashi had revealed to all of them that Naruto has a 3-to-1 Sharingan. Like, Hiyashi suspected it, then Kakashi confirmed it. Because he does say that Naruto's eyes possess a weird kind of chakra like his older brother did. Naruto doesn't say he's Shisui's cousin, he calls Shisui's older brother. That's kind of how it is, but, yeah. Pause. So Naruto does eventually end up more or less being, he trains with Kakashi for the whole 2 months and a half, and Hiyashi trains Sasuke and Hinata. But he doesn't know that Sasuke and Hinata actually get along perfectly. They get along really well. But I'm going to be completely honest. This isn't, like, with how Hinata and Sasuke are, they're both kind of, like, more really reserved people. They prefer to keep to themselves. I may make it a Hinata x Sasuke ship. Actually, because I saw a comment that was like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 videos ago about Naruto, that like, you dare take away my Naruto Hinata ship. What's the point of me watching this? I might make it a Sasuke Hinata ship just to piss that one person off on purpose. I may just do it to do that. If I don't feel like pissing them off, sure, I won't. But I honestly feel like doing it, so maybe Sasuke x Hinata, I don't care. It's a funny ship. Alright. But back to this. So, for the whole 2 months, Naruto had been learning Chidori, and actually been learning the basics of Rasengan. Kakashi can do both of those, don't forget that. So Naruto spent 2 months learning Chidori and Rasengan. But then for the other 2 weeks, he was training with Sasuke, and Naruto began training with Hiyashi. So yeah. But Hiyashi had noticed how strong Naruto was. His chakra reserves doubled somehow. Kakashi's had his chakra reserves double as well. Also, Naruto's not covering covering one of his eyes anymore. Naruto had covered one of his eyes all the time, because, that was the eye that had a 3-to-1 Sharingan. Now both of his eyes have 3-to-1 Sharingan. He has nothing to hide, so it doesn't really matter at all. But Naruto actually began basically fighting Hiyashi, and Hiyashi deemed Naruto a threat probably beyond Jonin level. Naruto was deemed by Hiyashi someone who may threaten the safety of most of Konoha if, Naruto's at the point where only Hiruzen, Danzo, maybe Kakashi, and maybe Hiyashi can stop Naruto. Like, only those 4 people, and Might Guy, obviously, but, Asuma would struggle, and also was pretty strong, but, the strongest Jonin of all of Konoha. Hiruzen, Danzo, Kakashi, Might Guy, Hiyashi. It would take around a lot of people to stop Naruto from destroying Konoha if he wanted to. Naruto's truly powerful. Well, yeah, so by the time the Chunin exams truly start, first off, Naruto does encounter Kankuro, Gaara, and Temari, because Konohamaru and him have the same relationship as in canon. And with this, more or less, Naruto's able to, he's able to talk to, what is it? Just give it. Pause real quick. Alright, so, Naruto and Konohamaru have the same relationship. He met Kankuro, Gaara, and Temari. And, Gaara still flex that Bloodlust, but Naruto flex his Bloodlust, which is the Nine-Tails Bloodlust, because he can control the Nine-Tails up to 2 tails. So with all of this chakra flaring out of Naruto, that's just sheer Bloodlust, Gaara is terrified. Gaara is genuinely feeling fear. You know how Rock Lee put the fear of, kind of like a tailed beast in Gaara? Naruto's putting the fear of a sage in the Gaara. Gaara is genuinely terrified of himself. But we should go on to basically just see Naruto, who ends up just, scaring off Gaara, and him and Konohamaru leave, then eventually we go over to Naruto encountering Rock Lee. So Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata walk in, but suddenly Rock Lee would dash at Naruto trying to go for a punch. But suddenly as Rock Lee would go for a punch, Naruto's gone and Rock Lee has a sword to his throat. Rock Lee would stare up at Naruto, just saying Naruto tilting a blade down. And Naruto tells Rock Lee that if Rock Lee wanted to fight, he should have actually just asked straight up, not attacking someone out of nowhere. Rock Lee actually tells Naruto to Taijutsu battle, saying that Rock Lee can't use. Rock Lee says, "I cannot use ninjutsu or genjutsu, but I can use taijutsu, and I challenge you to Taijutsu battle." Naruto said, "All right then, sure." Rock Lee dashed right at Naruto, and Naruto trained with Kakashi for 2 weeks, trained hard as hell. But they trained Kakashi for 2 months with Chidori. So Naruto actually runs Rock Lee's fade, like he runs Rock Lee's pockets. Like, he beats out Rock Lee to the point where Rock Lee has to be saved by Might Guy, because Rock Lee's covered in blood at this point. Naruto was simply too fast that Rock Lee couldn't see Naruto, and he just had so much force, Rock Lee is just spitting out blood like crazy. Eventually, Might Guy had stopped Naruto, saying that's a little too far, and Naruto just said, "What? I'm only 10 hits in. He swung 20 times. Let me give my extra 10. And Might Guy's like, no, you're fine." With that, Naruto pulls out kind of like a tag. This tag was basically developed by Hyuga and then infused with Naruto's chakra. It made it a lot stronger. But Naruto basically slammed the seal right into Rock Lee's face, and Rock Lee's body begins getting healed a bit. This is kind of like a mimicry off of what Hagoromo did on the Mount Miboku thing as well. But the seal is not as potent. Like, it only healed about half of Rock Lee's injuries, but the pain is still there. So yeah. This he takes the seal off Rock Lee, and Rock Lee thanks Naruto for helping him, but asks why. Naruto said he doesn't hate Rock Lee. Rock Lee is a cool person. It was just that Rock Lee was weak. But Rock Lee does eventually just end up going into the exam room, and Naruto, and this one's he's always been a prodigy. It was just no one trained him properly. So with this, what really happens is Naruto just, what did I say? Well, he was trained by a prodigy who was supposedly stronger than Itachi at the time. And if that's true, Naruto at that point may be stronger than Itachi was as a kid, which actually I don't think I'm assuming wrong. I think I'd assume correctly. Naruto actually finished his test around the same time as Itachi did, or actually around 34 minutes earlier. He turns in his test, setting a new record, and with this, he's able to help Hinata and Sasuke cheat as they solved it a bit earlier as well. But since Naruto had finished early, he kind of just watches everyone take the exam after Sasuke and Hinata pass. But Naruto takes Itachi route and actually begins, kind of examining everything, and finds out ways to beat everyone. But as he finds out ways to beat people, eventually he would use jutsu as no one known for Naruto went to the bathroom. And the Naruto actually don't need to stick with Naruto as his whole team had finished. So Naruto goes to the bathroom and uses a wind release jutsu that he had made up with Kakashi's help. The jutsu was a mix of like an earth release jutsu that more or less is able to make invisible. This is like subtle wind release jutsu that more or less spins around you, like kind of like a small gust of wind that doesn't create an uproar of wind, but instead it more or less will kind of reflect the background. Kind of bends light with wind. So, yeah. So Naruto would eventually sneak into the other exam rooms and is able to basically examine everyone and find a way to beat everyone. So with this, he's able to find a way to beat everyone and is able to figure this out in the last 3 minutes of the exam. He goes back into his room and it appears under a desk. And Ibiki questions where Naruto is, but you look under Naruto's desk to see him fake sleeping. But he could tell actually. He could tell under Naruto was fake sleeping and questioned where he was. So with this, basically, he questioned Naruto and where he was and why he's fake sleeping. Naruto just said that he's scouting out the competition. This makes Ibiki chuckle that Naruto was able to figure that be able to sneak out without no one noticing him, because they had a window open, like one slightly open window. Well, no one had noticed it open a little bit more every few seconds. And eventually enough for Naruto to actually slip out of it. So yeah. Plus he has a body flicker, so that when the window didn't need to be open too much. It was enough for Naruto to sneak through it. But yeah. But eventually we just go on to the Force of Death. And Naruto actually asked Hinata if they should help out any of the other teams. And yeah, Sasuke had said, why not? Well, me and you are friends with Shikamaru and Choji and Shino. And then wait, pause. But Naruto's eventually just, Hinata reached a conclusion alongside Sasuke. They reached a conclusion to help their friends, but Hinata actually insists on helping Neji. And Naruto's like, fine, we can help all of them because we're friends with basically everyone on each team. Put together all the Hidden Leaf teams. Naruto's able to basically convince all them all to hide behind a rock. But when Kabuto tries to run in and when he realizes it's all Hidden Leaf team, and Naruto said that Kabuto can't come because he doesn't know who Kabuto is. He's only grabbing people he knows. Kabuto's gonna never saying, come on, we're all from the Hidden Leaf, right? Naruto said, no, we're not. The Sound team seemed pretty friendly with you when they attacked. They were intentionally not trying to kill you or injure you. They were just sending attacks your way. Kabuto heard that and immediately said, damn it. Naruto said, I don't trust people who probably made secret bets to go against their own team. That Kabuto immediately left, scoffing that Naruto was able to figure that out that fast. This actually goes over how to beat each team there, and does it perfectly. The thing is, the only person I noticed Naruto sneaking around was Orochimaru. He didn't know what Naruto was doing because he doesn't know what Naruto does. So eventually, Naruto actually gave them the strategy. He gave Team Guy a strategy to defeat Team Dosu. He basically told Rock Lee to attack Zaku, then told Neji to attack. Told Rock Lee to attack Kaku. Told Rock Lee to attack Zaku. Then told Neji to attack Dosu, leaving Tenten with Keen, as she had used Senbon and Senbon and Genjutsu. Naruto basically gave Tenten a kunai, and he says that this kunai, even if you use a bit of chakra into it, it should type out a Genjutsu because it's infused with my chakra. Bond your chakra with it, and my chakra will bond with you, temporarily increasing your levels and breaking you out of Genjutsu. So she thanks Naruto, and now Neji want the help to Naruto actually build the strength of this team, and how it's just we got really good at teamwork, but they're all individually powerhouses. In comparison to basically, Team Guy. They have really good teamwork, but they're all powerhouses individually. So yeah. Now with this, pause one more time, sorry. So, Team Guy is tasked with defeating Team Dosu, and then we go over to Naruto, who actually talks to Team Inoshikacho about defeating, Team Kabuto, saying that they are probably allied with the Hidden Sound. And with this, Shikamaru's like, okay then, cool. So Naruto actually tells Shikamaru that Kabuto would be the main threat, as he does since Kabuto's hiding a lot of chakra. Kabuto's chakra control is so precise that it seems scary. So this tells Shikamaru he's best at distance, and to basically hide his presence. Shikamaru really has a lack of a presence, because chakra levels are pretty average. So with his lack of presence, there's really no need for him to try to hide it. He already has no presence. Shikamaru is able to more or less he's able to find a way to get Kabuto in place, and then tells Choji to hit ram into Kabuto as hard as he can on the side. But Kabuto's precise chakra control may be able to break him out of it, but Choji has to be really close by Shikamaru. So yeah. Then Naruto moves on to tell basically Ino what to do about Yoroi, as he does tell her that Yoroi's chakra basically extends from his hands. As Yoroi had a tactic basically making his opponents the people next to him fall asleep somehow. In reality, Naruto had found out that was them passing out because Yoroi was draining their chakra by just the slightest bit of contact. He had their feet close together and channeled the chakra into his feet, so absorbed the chakra through their feet, making them pass out. So he told that to Ino, basically Ino to basically control him when Shoji had defeated Kabuto. With this, Ino's like, alright, cool about the other guy. And Naruto just says that he's really stretchy, that's about it, just stretchy. So okay, it's kind of weird, but okay. Next team would probably be Team Orochimaru, which Naruto actually tasked with his team only. But for Team Shino, basically tells them about the hidden rain team. The guys that attacked Naruto, when Kabuto was helping Team 7, the guys that were from the hidden rain were the ones that had that really weird liquid genjutsu. He's basically tasked them with defeating those guys. So yeah. But Naruto does eventually more or less just tell them about how to defeat the teams, and with that, well, they leave. So the exam starts, they get their scrolls, and they leave. Coincidentally, each team that they needed each team they had to beat had the scrolls they needed. So it was more than enough reason to defeat the teams. So Team Guy defeats Team Dosu. Team Inshikacho actually they're able to knock Kabuto out of commission and defeat Yoroi, but Tsurugi was able to escape with Kabuto and Yoroi. Orochimaru didn't know where the shadow was coming from before he could break out of it. He slammed right in the head by a rolling boulder being Choji. So that knocked him out. And then Yoroi is only starting to help. He's just put under the whole mind transfer jutsu, and then with that, before Ino gets hit, she releases it, and then this leads to Yoroi being hit in the chest by Choji as well. So yeah, Choji basically was told to roll, and then as he's about to get close, destroy it and hit him right in the chest as hard as you can. And then that should be able to break at least a sternum or a few ribs. With this, well, Choji listens, and he actually breaks most of Yoroi's ribs. It actually makes Yoroi's cough a ton of blood and actually begin dying as Tsurugi carries him and Kabuto off. Then now Team Shino, they're able to more or less defeat their team because Team Shino consists of him, Sakura, and Kiba. And the guy that Shino actually suspects can use Genjutsu, Naruto trusted Shino to be smart enough to guess what they can do, and Shino was all correct the whole time. Pause one more time. But Naruto is able to more or less, but Shino's able to more or less detect what jutsu they all specialize in. And with the guy that can use Genjutsu, well, Shino, what he does basically cover the guy's body in bugs the moment he's off guard, and they drain a lot of his chakra. And with this, what happens during him draining chakra, Shino more or less tasks Kiba to actually hit him while he's trying to get the bugs off of him. And Kiba does just that, as he just does Fang over Fang, only by himself, hitting the guy right in the chest, while actually killing him. He caved in the guy's chest and he killed him. With this, the guy actually kind of bounces off the ground and into a tree, and he's unconscious. The next person would probably be more or less the other two guys, but they aren't really too important to me, I guess. So it leads to them being defeated. So I guess we can go on to pause. So Team Guy defeats Team Dosu, Team Inoshikacho pushes back Team Kabuto, and then Team Shino pushes back the Hidden Rain group. Now it leaves Naruto to the Team Orochimaru. So with this, we move on to basically them versus Orochimaru. Chunin does find out quickly can get into contact with Kabuto or Dosu. We just concern him a bit, but he's mainly worried about getting the bodies of Naruto or the body of Sasuke. But he prefers the body of Naruto as he was trained by Shisui and maybe a lot stronger, or not may, but is. But yeah. Now with this, we eventually just go and see Naruto, who just ends up being able to sense Orochimaru coming. So the moment a snake gets near him, Naruto immediately tells Hinata to get ready to basically strike at it as hard as she can. Then she turns around and uses a new technique that Naruto had taught her. She calls this the electric gentle step. With that, she hits it, not lightly, but doesn't hit it too hard. She kind of just swiftly taps it or palm strikes it, and lightning is sent through all the chakra points, or at least half of it, and it poofs away. She shut down half your chakra points if she hits you in a certain spot. If she hits you in not a regular, but into not random, I guess. If she hits you in certain spots, it won't shut your chakra down completely, but only temporary. So yeah. But we can move on to basically just Naruto, who would go on to I guess we can go to just Naruto seeing Orochimaru. Sasuke already found him by just telling Naruto just watching Hinata, and then Sasuke sensed a little bit farther than Naruto what's doing currently. So with this, they're able to find where Orochimaru is. Sasuke points out where he is, and Orochimaru comes out of hiding, and it's about to basically jump at Naruto. Or Sasuke, you see Sasuke's the weakest one there. But when Orochimaru went for Sasuke's eyes, Orochimaru quickly realized that something was coming at him too fast. Suddenly he hears a sound that he's all too familiar with. The sound of 1,000 birds. Quickly jumps out of the way of the Chidori, and then says, You may be a kid, but you're good with that. But too bad you're too slow. Naruto smirks, saying, "My goal isn't to hit you." Chidori Senbon! Suddenly, Chidori actually scatters every direction and hits Orochimaru right through the back, right through his shoulder, and right through one of his legs. Orochimaru would land, and then one of his legs gives out as he realizes that Chidori was scattered. Naruto had smirked as suddenly multiple Senbon are thrown at Orochimaru by Hinata, and as they hit Orochimaru, he's stuck and can't move. Suddenly, Sasuke hit Orochimaru with a fireball jutsu, completely not incinerating him, but burning his body, lighting him on fire. After around I'd say 5 seconds, he's able to move again, but his body is already covered in flames. He's able to escape the flames, rushing at Sasuke again. Suddenly, Orochimaru would realize that his eyes, he can't see out of one of his eyes. And before he realizes it, one of his eyes is suddenly torn right out of his head by Naruto. Naruto then suddenly infuses Armor Chakra full force, as he had learned learned how to infuse his body with a lot more chakra. Only chakra is falling off of his fist and turns bright red, and it slammed into the head of Orochimaru as Orochimaru sent flying, and compares Naruto to Tsunade. As Orochimaru sent flying away, he bounces off a few trees and lands on the ground. His blood is kind of flowing right out of one of his eyes, out of one of his ears, and Orochimaru's barely able to get back up. Naruto said that was a good job, and he smirks. But suddenly, something flies right at Naruto, and it's a sword. Naruto can react to something the sword to pierce Naruto right through the heart, and Orochimaru could regurgitate himself as he was flying through the air. As he was regurgitated, we see Orochimaru land, but a sword is shot right out of his mouth, and stabs Naruto right through the heart, making Naruto throw up blood, and fall over, quote-unquote, dead. Naruto falls to the ground as Sasuke catches Naruto, and Sasuke cannot help but be in a state of shock as his only relative that he actually cares about is dead. Sasuke, in a state of shock, is bit on the neck by Orochimaru, and Hinata tries to gentle strike him, but he gets away. And tells Hinata that he'll come back for her later. Her body is really interesting. Before Orochimaru can get far enough away, Naruto basically caught Sasuke, and Orochimaru realized that Naruto, his heart was missed by only a single centimeter. Naruto's basically able to just control what infused chakra into his bloodstream, and be able to basically make sure no blood had reached his heart, to the point where, as it was beating, it didn't beat fast enough to actually, get a little bit more of a motion to quote-unquote expand. But Orochimaru's sword barely missed Naruto. Barely. Well, missed Naruto's heart. It hit Naruto head on, though. And Naruto was able to basically pull the blade out of his chest, telling Orochimaru that he had missed. Orochimaru would scoff, saying, "A brat like you strong, huh?" Naruto said, "You mean brats?" Suddenly, out of nowhere, multiple clones jump out from through the air, holding out Rasengans and Chidoris. Naruto just recently, probably not even like a day before the Chunin exams began, he learned how to do Rasengan normally. He still has to use 2 hands to form it, but he learned how to do it. This all these Chidoris and Rasengan make Orochimaru very concerned, and suddenly he is hit by it all. All everyone hears is a giant explosion that blows apart the forest, and it sends trees and branches flying everywhere. Orochimaru eventually falls from the tree. He's landing on his body. Well, they think it's his body, but they look at it saying it's only his clothes and a quote-unquote husk. Orochimaru was able to regurgitate himself, barely, and it had used all the chakras. He had to basically use this in a split second, and he used it to regurgitate all this chakra coming with him. But if he used that, it's not all the chakra, but he used up all of his energy to do so. Orochimaru just tried to walk away as fast as possible. Because, if that actually hit him, he would have most definitely died. So Naruto with that, Orochimaru was able to be chased away, and Naruto eventually will pick up Sasuke. Sasuke is still bleeding, not bleeding out, but he's very much under the effect of a curse mark. Eventually, halfway through the walk, Sasuke not walking kind of slow, because his body's kind of in a state of shock still, so he walks pretty slow. And eventually, they also were able to take Orochimaru's scroll so they get it. But, yeah. Every single team, except for one, gets there faster than Gaara, and the only one that didn't get there faster is Team Inuyasha Cho. Choji got tired and took a break to eat, so they got there after Gaara. Team Ninja got there faster at around 28 minutes. Then we would have Team Shino, who got there at around 32 minutes, Team Gaara, 36 minutes, and then Team Inuyasha Cho 40 minutes. But Naruto gets there after 3 hours. This shocks every single team. They see Naruto's team arrive last, and they see Naruto holding Sasuke, and Naruto's chest is covered in blood. And Hinata's just nervous for Naruto. As they get there, suddenly Sasuke would appear off of Naruto, not appear, but disappear off Naruto's back, and appear in front of Naruto, going to punch him. But Naruto caught Sasuke's fist, and then quickly hit him in the throat as hard as he could, which made Sasuke throw up blood and pass out. Naruto caught Sasuke, saying, "Alright then, we're done here." He took Sasuke to his room after they opened the scrolls, and Sasuke's upon his bed, unconscious. Naruto laid in his bed, and slept for the whole 5 days. Hinata had basically been in Naruto's room, watching over him, as Sasuke was also in the room as well. Sasuke was laid out on Naruto's floor, but he was basically covered in blankets and pillows. Naruto was sleeping just on the mattress itself. Then Hinata occasionally had laid next to Naruto or Sasuke. So yeah. Although this eventually, after 5 days are up, Hinata had told Naruto that they'd been getting food. It's just that Naruto didn't get any because he had to sleep the whole time. So yeah. Pause real quick. Okay, so we want to basically just, well, I guess just Naruto didn't eat for 5 days. He didn't drink anything either. Naruto and Sasuke ate as well, because Sasuke woke up after an hour of Naruto sleeping. When Naruto woke up, they give him food, and they say that they have an hour before they have to do a different arena. Naruto stuffed his face, and then drank tons of water. And with this, Naruto had eventually gone into the preliminaries, and he didn't need his food to settle or anything. He was going to beat the absolute hell out of any opponent he came near. The only opponent that didn't show up was Kabuto. Kabuto still didn't show up. The same opponents are the same. It's just a lot more of them are injured. Like every single opponent is the same. But the first fight is Sasuke versus Yoroi. Sasuke wins with no effort. And then we basically see Hinata versus Neji. Hinata using her electric gentle step wins. And she offered to teach it to Neji once he actually began scoffing, saying, just had thought from a Hyuga heiress. Naruto then said, Hinata said, Neji, I developed this technique hoping that we could both learn it. I think it'd suit you better than me, and you'd probably make it stronger than I could. This technique is meant for you. And Neji's eyes widen, hearing that, and he doesn't tell. He can't. He uses Byakugan and doesn't feel Hinata is lying. All he feels is the truth. So he just acknowledges that Hinata's telling the truth. She made the technique just for him. So yeah. With this, we go on to basically see Naruto, who, more or less just fights Kiba the same way, but Kiba just is nervous to fight Naruto, because Naruto's the one that figured out how they could beat their team. Not their team, but figured out how to beat their opponent, and they won, sure, but Kiba was also a bit cocky because he killed someone. But everybody, Kiba's still going to nervous about fighting Naruto, and then she says, should he just submit, or should he fight? He asks that to Shino, and Shino then says, the best option you have is submit. I was wondering about how Shino versus Shino versus Zaku went. Rock Lee kicked this man in the face hard enough to break its jaw. Zaku couldn't even speak the whole time, and Zaku was still kind of just like, he had a splitting headache, which actually made it impossible for him to concentrate in the fight because he was just in agony the whole time. So Shino beat him with just sheer taijutsu, which was impressive for Shino. Then Choji would annihilate Dosu himself. Then Shikamaru just literally one-shots Kina, kicking her in the face. That's immediately it. But yeah. But I guess we can go into basically just like back to Naruto versus Akiba. Shino versus Zaku, I mean. Naruto versus Kiba. Shino basically told Kiba the best option he has is submission. And Kiba then said he submits. And no one was shocked. Naruto's terrifying. So, yeah. But I guess we can move on to basically just the Hidden Leaf winning all their fights. Sakura beats Ino because Sakura trains under Kurenai, who's a Genjutsu user, and Sakura is very potent at Genjutsu. So Sakura can use Genjutsu on a decent level. Well, she'd beat Ino with Genjutsu. But yeah, so we move on and just go past this. On to the one with the training. So Naruto basically trained with Jiraiya, but Jiraiya, was told by Kakashi that Naruto was already learning Rasengan. It's just he needs 2 hands to use it. So Jiraiya spends since time trying to teach Naruto something, but he could already do it in just a few minutes, around 20 minutes tops. But Sasuke trying to teach Naruto how to use Rasengan with one hand, which took Naruto around a good old 2 weeks to do that. So after learning the Rasengan with one hand, now he has to infuse chakra into it. First up is wind style, and Naruto can do that pretty decently. Then the next step is actually lightning, as no one's been able to do that yet. So Naruto spends time actually kind of trying to learn his vanishing Rasengan. Because he did be able to use it, but halfway through the Rasengan disappeared. But then Naruto quickly realized that he just thought he kind of gave up. Didn't realize that the Rasengan had basically flown off his hand. He didn't realize that. What happened is basically the Rasengan had just hit it flew off his hand, and then it hit a tree, and then blew a tree in half. So yeah. But I guess we can go on to basically just like Naruto and everyone else who, Sakura trains with Kurenai a lot more. Kakashi trains Sasuke a lot harder. Hiyashi will train Hinata. And, Hinata actually does some training with Neji, not Hiyashi, saying that Hiyashi isn't really... She doesn't really like training with him. And Hiyashi doesn't admit Hinata's probably the strongest kid in the clan. Probably one of the strongest shinobi. It's just, Hinata doesn't like him. And Neji does realize that with Hinata being so soft or so lighthearted, he'll never get a proper clan clan heir, I guess. Besides Hanabi, and Hanabi will always be the weaker one of the two. She just realized that Hinata will not become a clan head because she doesn't like how Hyuga operates, and if she does become clan head, she will change it. Hanabi wouldn't, because that's not Hiyashi's wishes, but she does realize that if he wants a strong clan head, he has to change himself. That all starts with changing the clan itself. So Hiyashi's going through a change a lot earlier. And actually, he does offer to be gentle on Hinata, and so this will still say no. So Hiyashi will make a decision he never thought he'd have to make. He removes his seal on Neji. And now that's when Hinata realizes that Hiyashi's trying to change, so she can become a clan head, but does realize that she just tell him, she knows what he's doing, and he also changes the whole entire person for her to accept him as a father and for her to become a clan head. He will have to change all overall. This makes Hiyashi scoff, but he does realize it's true. If he wants a strong clan head, he will have to change. So yeah. Now eventually, Hiyashi teaches Hinata and Neji a lot better, even Hiyashi being able to learn the electric gentle step, deeming it better than the gentle fist itself with the way Hinata uses it, because she's a more gentle and graceful person. While lightning is usually wild and untamable, Hinata controlled it and uses it in a very gentle way. While Neji who uses it very fiercely, but also in a very calm manner, while Hiyashi would use it very wildly, not recklessly, but use it very wildly and powerful. They'll have their own style of it, but overall it's a very fierce attack. Over the month, Hinata had developed her, kind of like the beginning of her lion fist, like the beginning, she only formed the fangs of the lion fist, but not the full thing. But yeah. But we move on to basically just the shooting exams. The first fight happens to be Hinata versus not Neji. Hinata versus not Naruto. That'd be a little too overpowered, and plus I don't want to make them fight their own teammates. Hinata versus Shino. Hinata actually was able to get near Shino, but she had to use electric gentle step on a few bugs. Bugs were able to sneak into her hoodie, and she'd be draining her chakra, leaving her to use the electric gentle step. Then she was able to somewhat be able to dodge a few of her attacks and be able to hit her in the gut with palm strike, knocking her out. Well, no, knocking her back. And her chakra kept being drained, but Shino actually began getting a bit bruises, and as he was about to submit, Hinata had passed out due to chakra exhaustion, leaving Shino as the winner. He had been panting, falling to his knees, passing out, with blood coming out of his mouth. Shibi jumped down, healing. He healed. He's able to somewhat heal Shino's body so his bugs don't get upset and leave Shino. But I guess we move on a bit to just like Naruto taking over Shino's fight with Naruto versus Kankuro, but Kankuro's like, nah, I'm good. Kankuro genuinely fears Naruto because he's scared Gaara, so there's no reason for him to fight Naruto if he's scared Gaara. But the rest of the fights go the same way until Naruto has to save Sasuke. But the thing is, he doesn't have to save Sasuke. He has to save Gaara. Naruto jumped in about to save Gaara from being killed by Sasuke because he doesn't know that Gaara's a Jinchuriki, but he's trying to save Gaara. Sasuke had passed out due to just the curse mark. Gaara jumped back as blood poured from his chest as it eventually healed, and Gaara formed into the One Tails fully. But Naruto didn't deem the One Tails a threat, didn't deem it a threat at all. The Shinobi that were following Naruto in canon, he defeated them all with just the clones. He's like, as he's already made clones and they defeat them all. Then conquer Orochimaru, clones again. Then against Gaara the One Tails, clones all he needs. All the clones can use Chidori. Can use Chidori, Rasengan, Tori Senbone, Vanishing Rasengan, Wind Release Rasengan, Fire Release, Lightning Release, Wind Release. They can all do more than five jutsus of these releases. They can beat the hell out of Gaara with no effort, and they do just that. And that's time for them actually to go find Hiruzen, find out how to get through the barrier by Naruto sensing out the weakest one of the Sound Four, and find out it's Jirobo. Or at least has the weakest control over his chakra. It's good, but weakest. So Naruto actually tells Kakashi to check up a Rasengan with him, and Kakashi and Naruto check up a group Rasengan. They slam it right under where Jirobo is, disrupting his footing and breaking the barrier down. That Hiruzen falls through the barrier as well, but Naruto caught Hiruzen, and he disappears alongside Might Guy, and all civilians had left already. All the civilians left. Might Guy and Kakashi disappear with Naruto actually holding Hiruzen. Eventually, they get Hiruzen to a safe place in the forest, and Naruto said that him, Might Guy, and Kakashi would be watching from a distance in case Hiruzen needs help. Hiruzen would nod, and telling Sound 4 actually to attack Naruto. Quickly, he just glares at them, putting them all under a strong genjutsu, making them all fall to the ground unconscious. All he needed was a glare to knock them all out. All he needed. So the glare knocks them out. But eventually, we see Orochimaru trying to use the reanimation jutsu to summon the first, second, and fourth Hokage. And he's going to say, like, no, not the fourth. Naruto realized that the Hokage, and he charged with Chidori, cutting it in half the coffins, decided to start from jutsu, and actually destroying it. So the jutsu being destroyed, well, Orochimaru was kicked in the face by Naruto as well, but he kicked right into a Rasengan, and he's Rasengan right into a fourth gate kick. And that breaks his arm and a few of his ribs. But then realizes who destroyed the coffins. He was too fast for him to see. With that, he looks at who did it, seeing Naruto, and with that, he pauses, saying, wait, pause, sorry. So, Orochimaru decides that who it is, seeing Naruto, and says, "Oh crap! You had only one month of training. I guess it was with Kakashi." Naruto smirks, saying, "No, it was one a bit more terrifying." No one really knows who Naruto trained with besides Hiruzen. Hiruzen smirks, saying, "Orochimaru, he trained with Jiraiya." Orochimaru's eyes widen as he's trying to retreat, but quickly he's caught by a barrage of clones from every single direction that are using Chidori, Rasengan, Lightning Release, Wind Release, Fire Release. All everyone sees is a giant explosion, and through the explosion, they just see Orochimaru's very injured body. He's barely able to use like a surrounding mud wall to block his body, but yeah. But everyone just more or less sees him like what is this? Well, Orochimaru's body he's not dead, but he's not going to be alive much longer. Well, Naruto should just slam his kunai down to kill Orochimaru, so suddenly Kabuto would come in clutch, or at least clutch Orochimaru, and he begins using his, he's able to use his medical ninjutsu to basically a few things in Naruto's heart, making him bleed out from the inside. There's no blood getting in Naruto's heart, making him basically lose the ability to pump blood into his heart, which almost kills almost kills Naruto, but the Naruto basically heals Naruto, saying, "Kill those bastards and get them." But Naruto kept coughing up blood, saying that he needs his heart to heal, or his heart to get enough blood. But eventually, Orochimaru's like, "Well, I'm not sure," but Naruto's like, all right, we'll let him go for now, but I cannot keep fighting right now. My body's too damaged. But eventually, he actually realized Kabuto suffered something else that the Nine Tails didn't realize. There's one more vein going to the heart. So then Kabuto had released jutsu, and Naruto's heart, completely stopped beating as Naruto fell over, with blood coming out of his mouth. Naruto's just on the ground, dying. You see Hiruzen jump in, trying to save Naruto, and Totoko Ninja arrive, hoping Hiruzen is okay. He's Naruto on the ground, and he's like, "Oh, he's dying. Whatever. Hiruzen, are you okay?" was like, no, shut up, you need to heal this boy right now, he's dying. He saved my life, now I need to save his. When they hear that, they immediately begin working on Naruto, and they're able to get his heart back together as the Nine Tails begin helping as well. The whole time in Naruto's mindset, the Nine Tails and Naruto begin arguing, and Naruto's like, I need to give you chakra and heal you, just so you let some bastard run away. Naruto just said that doesn't matter what the Nine Tails wanted. Naruto wanted to live, not fight, so his body can just keep getting damaged. So yeah, now eventually we go on to like the Tsunade retrieval arc, which would go the same up until Tsunade being consulting with Kage. Naruto actually doesn't want to be Hokage. He wants to basically find out why Itachi killed the clan. That's his goal. Find out why Itachi killed the clan. That above being Hokage. But Dr. Moore basically told Tsunade that being Hokage is a set of mind and a will, not a dream. Tsunade knew someone who said they want to be Hokage. Then sure, but they have the right mindset. They have the dream. If they only said it and didn't back up their actions, they did not, and they were just dumb fools. And this was honestly just to touch a nerve on Tsunade, so he could beat the hell out of her just for insulting Kyoto-sen, because he doesn't know that's what she was doing. He actually heard about Naoki and Dan from his history books and a bit from Jiraiya. They're like Naruto, calm down. Tsunade just jumped down at Naruto saying, "I'll kill you for insulting them." But Naruto blocked her punch, saying, "Wow, you don't punch as strong as me," or basically said, "I punch harder than you." That's like the one where Tsunade understood that suddenly she's punched right across town by Naruto. He does off his fist thing. I wasn't insulting anyone. I was just saying that someone would say they'll be Hokage and no back up their actions. They're stupid. What? Did you know someone like that who died? That's actually Naruto saying, "Shut your damn mouth." But quickly, she's met by a Chidori, being shoved right through her gut. Or she thought it'd be shoved through her gut till it just hits her in the gut, but not through her, and to basically electrocutes her. When she falls over, and the last word she hears from Naruto is, "I wasn't insulting your family. I was insulting your way of thinking." She fell over. No, she was just being sensitive. Naruto wasn't intentionally trying to hurt her feelings, which he was. He was more or less just kind of trying to trick her feelings. He didn't mean anything what he said. It was just he was just saying it to get on her nerves. So yeah. With this, he eventually is able to put Tsunade on his back, and they bring her. They leave. She goes to Hokage, and yeah. Which leaves the Sasuke retrieval arc, which will go the same way up until the team. Well, actually, no, it goes the same way up until Naruto versus Kimimaru. Actually, I would say it goes the same up until Neji versus Kidomaru. So Neji begins fighting Kidomaru. Well, Kidomaru deems Neji someone pretty impressive until Kidomaru gets close up. When Kidomaru summons a spider, Neji just touches it and it dies, which shocks Kidomaru because any bug that gets near Neji, well, he touches it and then just sends out a few strikes and it kills all the bugs with just 2 strikes, and there's hundreds of them. Asking Neji what he's doing, but he says it's none of his business. But Kidomaru fired basically a giant, arrow at Naruto, not Naruto, at Neji. Neji basically just put his hands in the way, as well as touch Neji. He sent lightning through it, and suddenly, all of it began melting and losing momentum. And Neji didn't go through Neji's hand, but instead just left it pretty badly bleeding. It's not permanent injuries. It's just more or less just it hurts a lot and it's bleeding a lot. He'll bleed out if he doesn't get any attention for it though. Kidomaru's questioning when Neji had done. Neji quickly grabbed Kidomaru by the throat and basically just began choking him to death. Kidomaru would even go into his curse mark his full power curse mark state, but still Neji's just choking him out with no effort. And through this, Kidomaru was choked to death, and some medical ninja arrive and began healing Neji's hand. Shikamaru versus Tayuya, Shikamaru obliterates with no effort. He learns, he's able to do this. So Shikamaru was able to basically more or less use the shadows in a better effective way and learn how to hide its presence, even from Genjutsu users. She could not find she could not find Shikamaru. The point where even she went to a Curse Mark 2, still couldn't find Shikamaru. So when Shikamaru takes advantage of that, stabbing her right to the back where her heart would be with the kunai, killing her. And Kiba was also a bit stronger because he had to deal with killing someone. He didn't know that the person had died up until it was reported that there was a few bodies in the force of death, and one of them was a person Kiba had attacked, and the attack was due to Kiba, and it killed them. Which actually made Kiba feel some kind of way, and now Kiba had to train under, his mother, because Kiba was like, I don't know what to do with myself, I didn't mean to kill him, it was just something I did by accident. But Kiba didn't know what to do, and his mother started training him harder to basically get him out of that mind state, saying, "Shinobi die, and you'll learn some techniques that will actually they'll be deadly, but this is gonna be the way you use them and make them deadly. Like it's supposed to be used for kills, but the way you use it will determine what you do to someone." Which leads to Kiba defeating Sakon, but Ukon is still the problem. This time Kiba didn't stab himself; he's really just too fast for him to catch him. But eventually he's tired out of the chakra, and before he can be killed by Ukon, Kankuro arrives, killing him. But Naruto versus Kimaru is an interesting fight, because Kimaru is at the complete disadvantage the whole time. Though Kimaru being at the complete disadvantage, well, he fights Naruto, but Naruto beats the absolute hell out of him to the point where Kimaru is just deeming Naruto someone superior to Orochimaru. And he's not wrong, Naruto's a Sanin level shinobi. He is, it's not a lie. But Kimaru tried to use a complete bone defense against one of Naruto's punches. Like, he's at full power, and still deems Naruto's punches too hard for him to take head on. He uses Koni's body and bones and his armor. But Naruto doesn't resort to a Tsunade-like punch. He resorts to a lightning-infused Rasengan. And he actually learned how to throw it. So he threw it, and Kimaru's like, "Oh, it missed me. You're stupid," and tries to attack Naruto. Thinking that Naruto's shocked, but Naruto just smirks as Kimaru turned around. Suddenly the Rasengan hits him right in the face, and Kimaru falls over, with his basically head being non-existent now. So yeah. Pause. So, Kimaru is dead. Now we have to we have to go to Naruto versus Sasuke. Honestly, Naruto does lose his fight because he's holding back, not wanting to kill Sasuke, but trying to use words instead. Now he does actually avoid basically all the attacks. Will and Sasuke uses a Chidori at full power. Naruto will test Sasuke using his own Chidori, underestimating Sasuke's power. Naruto's power actually does match Sasuke's in his base form without using any form of Naruto's ability, and not even using a Sharingan. But suddenly, Sasuke begins overwhelming Naruto. Before Naruto is able to advance his power, suddenly Sasuke is able to cancel out his Chidori, then hit Naruto in the chest full force, caving in his chest, and sending Naruto flying into the Hashirama statue. That Naruto ends up falling from the statue, hitting his ground. He's facing on the water, I guess. And then, Kakashi finds Naruto coughing out blood, but finds out Naruto's alive still. Naruto eventually is in the hospital and is told that Sasuke escaped and almost killed Naruto. And then that's what happened. Sasuke truly surpassed Naruto, but Naruto just said he didn't. It was just he's trying to use words, not fight. He says that they're immediately kind of just nervous that Naruto tried to use words, asking if he's okay. Like you usually beat the hell out of him. Naruto said that his brother, he couldn't bring himself to fight him. Naruto began crying because he actually felt like he let Sasuke down. He let down the whole village. That's what he feels like. This eventually he wins his Mangekyo, saying that he'll bring Sasuke back at any cost. Everyone sees this, and Kakashi then says, "First, Naruto, we're gonna have to deal with this." He points to his eye. Naruto looks in the mirror, saying, "Oh, this thing. Reportedly, my older brother had it." But now, before we get too far into the what if, or too far past the what if, at least this point in it, the Mangekyo abilities, they're completely random, but one of them is pretty broken. One of them is Infinite Tsukuyomi. The reason Naruto has this because he has the Ninja Chakra, he's Indra's reincarnation, he's Ashura's reincarnation, and, he derives from Shisui's clan, which has a history of, and this one has a history of just strong genjutsu if they were to awaken a Mangekyo. So if Shisui had Tsukuyomi, Naruto will actually unlock Infinite Tsukuyomi in one eye. But the thing is, no one's ever had this as a Mangekyo Sharingan. Pause real quick. But where was I? I had to go eat, by the way. But, where was it? Naruto awakened his Mangekyo after just feeling useless. Kakashi points it out, and to handle that first before Naruto heads out. I'm going over the Mangekyo abilities, and Mangekyo has the Infinite Tsukuyomi. So the Infinite Tsukuyomi isn't really the Infinite Tsukuyomi. It gives you the effects of it, but it doesn't give you a Rinnegan, more or less reflects on Mangekyo in your eyes, making it seem like you have one. But in reality, all it really does is give Naruto two options. He can either control you like Waizetsu, or what we can do is, he can cast you under Genjutsu that lasts for around a day. And he has options to control you for a whole day, like Waizetsu, or basically have you under strong Genjutsu for a whole day. The thing is, it's beyond S rank. It's a level of Infinite Tsukuyomi, just only lasts a day because it takes up Naruto's chakra so much. And then we can go on to his other eye. His left eye is Infinite Tsukuyomi, his right eye is the Gravity Control. This random ability, so I found this ability really cool. The gravity control most affects the surrounding area within 5 feet of Naruto, or Naruto can actually control the gravity on himself, being able to jump insanely high, move insanely fast, or just has so much weight behind a punch he can shatter the ground as we know it. So, yeah. Naruto spends around 2 months learning this with Kakashi, because Kakashi's the one with the Sharingan, and then Kakashi awakens on his own Mangekyo and learns how to control it with Naruto. But then Naruto's Susanoo is where things become complicated. Because Naruto's actually able to read his own tablet and find out a few things about it, was also able, well, with Ashura Reincarnation, he's able to figure out it was tampered with, and gets the whole warning about it, and immediately assumes that, well, the Uchiha were going to rebel to basically do the Infinite Tsukiyomi. So yeah. But eventually Naruto wants to find out a few different things. But I guess we move on to, like, a few other things, I guess, like, well, first off, Naruto's weapons in Susanoo. In Susanoo, well, first off, Susanoo's black and red. So, like the ribs are red and the body is black, and the weapons are red, and then so the weapons. Well, the weapons are red, then the ribs are red, and then the ceiling pot is red, but the rest of his body is black. So Naruto, yes, you hear that right. If you know what his weapons are, it's a red Amaterasu. That's what Naruto uses. Red Amaterasu is a blade. Like, he controls Amaterasu to a degree, and once he learns full control over Susanoo, he is immune to Amaterasu. That is the effect of a Susanoo. He is immune to it. He's immune to Amaterasu. Like, it burns him a bit, but it won't kill him. Like, it just burns him a lot. Like, he will never die from it. Like, put this man in, like, Amaterasu for a whole week, then he'll die. But, yeah, it looks like it'd take, like, a week worth of Amaterasu to kill him. Just to say that right now. And then, well, his weapons would be his sword's called Owabari, which is made of Susanoo. Not Susanoo, made of Amaterasu. Red Amaterasu. Then he has a healing pot by the name of Kohaku no Johei. You may recognize this as a sage tool. Naruto actually has that. Though when he was born, the tool had disappeared from history. But in reality, it kind of just faded into, well, a spiritual plane, waiting for Naruto to awaken his Mangekyo. Then once Naruto awakened it, it formed, and all Naruto has to do is basically just like, well, he has to basically just like at least get within 5 feet of you, and then say your name. If you respond, you're sealed inside Kohaku no Johei. So yeah. She's not within 5 feet. I'll say like 3 feet to make it a little more challenging. So, yeah, 3 feet of you, then I say your name. If you respond, we put like Kohaku no Johei. With Sword of Amaterasu, what it really does is, like, the moment he touches you, he can just say spark and your body poofs into ash. But that does take up a bit more chakra, so. But if he just touches you normally, it takes you like 5 minutes to burn to ash completely. Or probably less than that, about at least 3 at the most. But yeah, spark just turns you to ash immediately. Probably even burns the ash away. But we can move on to other things now. So after 2 years, well, first off, Kakashi can use his Kamui a bit better with Naruto training him a lot more with Mangekyo abilities. Kakashi doesn't, because it's not his Sharingan. He cannot use Susanoo or anything. He's able to somewhat mimic Susanoo. He flares chakra on his body and then actually uses Mangekyo. With that, he's actually able to somewhat form a barrier, kind of like a chakra shield. And actually does actually negate all damages to his body for at least 1 minute before he uses up too much chakra. So, yeah. With Hiyashi training Hinata and Neji a bit more, and, well, actually eventually Hinata actually overtakes Hiyashi in power. She actually mastered her electric dental step beyond mastery. It's kind of what she did. Like, she pushes it to the point where it's beyond a regular Byakugan. And beyond, well, regular electric dental step. And actually with this, Hiyashi actually steps down from clan head and makes Hinata the clan head of the Hyuga. And kind of, I want to piss off that one person I mentioned earlier. This is going to be a Sasuhina ship. Naruto can get someone else. I don't care. But actually, Sakura, with Naruto's strength, I think he trained Tsunade briefly, which would actually affect him when training with Sakura as well. Because he trains with Sakura as well. Him and Sakura have great chemistry. This is the point where Sakura doesn't have a crush on Sasuke anymore. She has a crush on Naruto. So yeah. So Sakura is the one with the crush on Naruto, not Sasuke. Well, every girl in Konoha has a crush on Naruto at this point. But yeah. Now for 2 years, Naruto also will train Mami Boku, being able to learn how to take in nature energy. But now we move on to basically just Kagekiyo mission. Because when Naruto saved Gaara, him and Gaara have the same conversation. It was just Naruto wasn't weakened. One thing that Naruto did tell Gaara is basically just, well, yeah, pause one more time, sorry. Alright, so Naruto eventually would more or less like, what was it? Oh yeah, so Naruto basically told Gaara something after like beating him, and he even told this to his siblings. Gaara isn't really a stable person because he fills his vessel with hatred constantly. He feels like he doesn't need or deserve love. In reality, Gaara does deserve love, and his siblings are not giving him that. Gaara, the people that he should trust the most, are not, well, being responsible with him. All those two need to do is have a good effect on Gaara, and Gaara should have a good effect on his tailed beast, not thinking of it as some kind of curse or monster, thinking of it as something that's part of his being. Naruto doesn't go along with the Nine Tails at all, but still, he thinks of it as a part of his body, not some kind of curse sealed inside of him. Which Kurama does acknowledge, Naruto doesn't hate him. Naruto doesn't hate anything. At best, he hates Orochimaru, and that's it. Because Orochimaru took away his brother, that's it. But eventually with this, we can just move on. But I guess we should go to basically just the Kazekage retrieval mission now. Gaara did actually begin thinking of Shukaku as part of his being, not some kind of curse or some other beast inside of him. Thought Shukaku was like an extension of his soul. It actually led him being able to control Sand a bit better, actually almost killed Deidara. But Sasori had caught Deidara and then took Gaara away, so yeah. Now, Gaara is actually hanging on a bit better, fighting off Sasori and Deidara as we speak. As Naruto, first Sakura heals Kankuro, then Naruto, Kakashi, and Sakura head out to go find Gaara. But eventually, when they get to the cave, Gaara is still fighting off Sasori and Deidara, and before they enter the seals, the whole place explodes with sand as Gaara jumps out with like one of his sleeves missing, and his shirt is covered in blood. Gaara's coughing, saying, Naruto smells, saying hi to Gaara. Before Sasori can even attack, realizing who it is, I think Sasori just appears off the face of the earth. Or so everyone thought. But they realize that Naruto just cut open the puppet, realizing that Sasori's in midair, and Sasori then says, what the hell's that sword? It destroyed the puppet. That says Sasori landed right behind Deidara, telling Deidara, don't get near Naruto. He seems too deadly. Because Sasori had stared close at Naruto, realizing who it is. But Sasori is like Deidara, I'm telling you as a friend, and as a comrade, do not go near him. Sasori just like tries to Deidara this, but Deidara doesn't listen and attacks Naruto, saying, well, he can't be that strong. But suddenly, Naruto makes a Susanoo arm that would grab Deidara, and crush him like a grape. He drops Deidara, saying, is that really Deidara? Does he remember the Akatsuki? Kakashi would say, I think he was called one of the average members. And Gaara's like, I'm decently strong for someone my age. I'm a Kage. And you killed him like he was nothing, but he was weakened still, but he's able compared to a Kage. Never mind that. Sasori, we need to defeat him. Naruto said, oh, no biggie. If you had right above Sasori stabbing a blade, stabbing sword right through Sasori's heart. During Konoha a bit longer and training under Tsunade, he became became a Jonin. He trained under Kakashi, under Jiraiya, under Hiyashi, under Tsunade. He trained under legends his whole life. Even Shisui and Itachi, goddammit. This man has had training from only legends, nothing more. Well, nothing more, nothing less. So yeah. Hell, two of the people he trained under had the name Legendary in their titles. But yeah, Hiyashi is considered a legend because he gave the Hyuga gave the most trouble in the Shinobi World War. The third one at that, and Hiyashi might have been the clan head around that time, or the heir to the clan. So I guarantee you, Hiyashi may have been a legend, not like a Minato or Fugaku legend, but still a legendary shinobi. I guarantee you. All right, so we go on and just see Naruto, who. Well, first off, he killed Sasori, but Sasori gives away the Tenchi Bridge information. And, well, he's able to basically take the heart out of Sasori's body, and because Gaara insists on it, and he's able to give the body to Chiyo. Well, the puppet to Gaara, who gives the puppet to Chiyo. And Naruto to repair relations with Chiyo. Just because Naruto wants Kakashi not to be threatened by Chiyo anymore, Gaara says it's a gift from Kakashi. Sasori is like, Sasori's puppet body and all his puppets itself. So yeah. With this we move on and go all the way over to, well, I guess the next arc being, I'm pretty sure it's Tenchi Bridge mission, but I'm possibly thinking all the arcs. So this arc is basically just going to be Tenchi Bridge. Well, they go on the mission, it's Naruto, Sai, and Sakura. And Yamato's their sensei because Kakashi isn't out of chakra in this one. It's just more or less he has a mission with Guy. And by the way, not just putting the Anbu to how strong he is after reports from Gaara. Gaara was like, yeah, he killed them both with no effort. So yeah. So Naruto, think of Naruto, gives Naruto the title of Anbu, and he's actually eventually put as an Anbu captain in charge of Team Ro. And coincidentally, Anbu captain, Anbu squad is still Kakashi's old squad. It's just they're all a lot older. What missing is Itachi. And Naruto forms a squad and tells Kakashi that Kakashi is vice captain now. Kakashi puts on an Anbu mask, smiling, and Naruto doesn't know how strong Sakura is. It's just she can't get promoted to Jonin because she doesn't have a sensei that's allowed to, not a sensei, but doesn't have anyone allowed to promote her to Jonin. Kakashi doesn't know her well enough to promote her, but does say that she'd be a good fit. Well, he can't recommend her just yet because he doesn't know her well, but doesn't know that Naruto does seem her a really good shinobi. But Naruto, having basically enough pulls, almost enough pulls like Kage, promotes Sakura to a Jonin, and Tsunade allows this. So yeah, but instead of being promoted as a Jonin, she eventually is given an Anbu outfit. But then Neji's thrown one night. Neji is just approached by Naruto, and Naruto threw him an Anbu mask, saying, "You're not part of Team Ro, but your assigned duty by me is to protect Hinata and Hiyashi." But Hiyashi acts how he does in Boruto now, because he kind of just developed that personality over the years. He's developed a very loving, caring attitude, but he still acts like a tsundere. Like his whole thing is like he acts like how he does in Boruto, but he's a tsundere and hides it the whole time. Like around Hinata and Neji only, he's very loving, and Hanabi. But yeah, Naruto gave Neji a mask, saying you're part of Team Ro, but if I summon you, you come. But until now, well, your duty is to protect Hiyashi, Hinata, and Hanabi. So yeah, and Hiyashi would see Naruto handing Neji a mask, and as Neji's turned around, he smiles, and Hiyashi questioned this. Neji's part of the Anbu Black Ops now, and he's under Team Ro, led by Naruto. Well, led by Naruto and Kakashi, but his current duty is only protect the main family. So yeah. But with this, we eventually go on and see Naruto, who will first off gets the Tenchi Bridge information and summons Yamato as part of his team. And the thing is, he actually forces Don to let Sai onto his team because Naruto deems Sai very impressive. I was like, no, he's going to stay on the route because he has a Genkai that I like. And Naruto says, well, he has a Genkai I like too. We can fight for him if you want. You know you lose, but still, you can fight for him if you'd like. Pause. So, I guess we can just go on to basically just like, well, Don doesn't want to fight Naruto because he's aware of Naruto's eyes. Naruto's actually trying to break into Naruto's house to steal the eyes, but well, Naruto wasn't asleep. He was kind of just. Naruto's a thing where he hangs out with Neji, Lee, Shikamaru, Kiba, and Choji, and Shino occasionally on the weekends, and they do some underage. They do some activities when they're underage. So yeah, you just can guess like underage, DRI word. So yeah, and Danzo saw that and immediately deemed Naruto too big of a threat to even attack because he's around this many people. And everyone in the room is getting strong. Choji's already considered being like... Everyone got really strong because Naruto stayed in Konoha and wanted to train with everyone. Jiraiya took Naruto out of the village for a month. And Naruto's already able to somewhat tap into sage mode briefly, better than him. So, yeah. But Jiraiya isn't in Konoha right now. He's on Mount Yuboku training for sage mode. But I'm back to this. But Naruto is basically just, training everyone in Konoha because he stayed in Konoha the whole time, except for 1 month, and that was one month before he met Gaara as Kage. So everyone in the room is basically considered to be their next clan head, because their clan heads are considering stepping down because their kids are so strong. Hell, Shukaku already stepped down because Shikamaru surpassed him in power and intelligence. Shikamaru was already a clan head, Naruto's a clan head. There's not much in Naruto's clan, there's just him and Sasuke and Itachi. That's really it. But still, there's only these three, and Naruto's still considered the clan head because he's the strongest one. And I'm making it canon right now. Naruto is the strongest one out of all the Uchiha alive, besides Obito. He's the strongest one. Ever have to include Obito, but yeah, Naruto's the only person that can beat Naruto currently is Obito. That's really it. But then again, if Obito doesn't know about Naruto's abilities, he will lose, and Obito doesn't, so Naruto will be Obito. Because though, if Tsukuyomi cannot be countered by anything besides a Susanoo, and Obito cannot use a Susanoo. At least not one that we know of. Holy shit. Imagine Obito put out a Susanoo in the war. Imagine they decided to snatch Kakashi's eye, put it in his head, like, give Madara's Rinnegan, put in both his Sharingan, use a damn Susanoo, and it's fucking Titanic size. Like, imagine Obito doing that. Obito is just gonna fucking dominate the whole battlefield. Like, I don't think people realize how strong a Kamui Shuriken is. Throw one at the Ten Tails, and if it can't deflect it, it will be warped away, half of its body at the most. I'm pretty sure Kamui Shuriken may be able to somewhat disable the Ten Tails. But yeah. But, alright, off that topic. So, Naruto does eventually end up going to the Tenichi Bridge mission, because Danzo deems Naruto to be a threat to even fight, no matter who he is. So, yeah. And eventually, Naruto does get Sai on his team, and Sai would ask Naruto why he wanted him. Naruto then says that he's not too keen on having a kid in the Ryu Anbu, and Sai's like, well, I'm older than you, why am I a kid? And Naruto then says, well, I'm stronger than you, and I'm your superior in terms of rank, and I consider you, well, a kid. You don't seem to have much of personality, and you can develop one. But like a kid, you can absorb personality like a sponge at this point. So until you develop your own personality, you're a little kid. Sai then says, alright then, we're going to place some power on the team. Naruto then says, so, I'm the captain, Kakashi's the vice captain, Yamato is Kakashi's assistant, Sakura's my assistant. You're like 5th strongest. So I hears that and he's like, oh really? 5th strongest. I was like, there's me, then there's Kakashi, then there's Yamato, then there's Sakura, then there's you. Well, so Sakura goes all out, then it's me, Kakashi, and Sakura. But yeah. So you're always going to be in 5th strongest. So I would Sai saying, all right then. Well, what's my first mission then? Oh, no. It says we don't have a mission for like another week, but still won't be prepared for that. For the week, Naruto actually trained Sai he mentally trained Sai to be a normal person with like Yamato, Sakura, and Kakashi. Yeah, so to the Tenichi Bridge mission, it goes the same way up until Kabuto discovers Yamato. Yamato jumps like, Captain, attack! Or Captain, they found me. But suddenly Naruto appears in front of Kabuto, and immediately Kabuto would freeze and begin running away, saying, retreat! And immediately Orochimaru jumped out of the forest and began reaching Kabuto, saying, how is he here? And Kabuto's like, I thought they would have killed him. And they keep running as fast as possible, because they thought Kabuto killed Naruto so many years ago. Actually, no. They wouldn't have. They thought Sasuke killed him. They thought Sasuke killed him. Because Sasuke had said he killed him. But no, he didn't. So yeah. Sasuke just misunderstood what he did to his brother. Sasuke thought he was that guy. In reality, he's not even close to being that guy. Eventually, Naruto's able to track them all the way back to the base. And eventually, when he finds it, Yamato's like, alright, cool, I plan to cheat on them just so we know what rooms to go to. Eventually, Naruto's able to find out where the whole base is, and Naruto would use that one when we shoot you and never brought it again. Until now. The reflection jutsu. And he's able to perfect it. Naruto's able to somewhat walk through the whole base without anyone seeing him, because he's able to hide his presence. But he does find a few people being, well, first off, Karin, so we get to, and Jugo. Orochimaru promised Jugo and Suigetsu freedom on the condition that they will be his bodyguard and Sasuke's bodyguard. Suigetsu's like, okay, cool. Karin's like, Sasuke, I'll stay. Jugo's like, Sasuke, I'll stay. Suigetsu's like, Sasuke's cool, I'll stay. So yeah. Pause one more time, sorry. So we'd go on to, I guess, Suigetsu, Jugo, and Karin are there. And, they see Orochimaru and Kabuto run in, screaming and crying, but they're both, obviously fearful. Sasuke will question what's going on with them as he's awake from his nap. They say, Naruto's alive, and, what should we do about him? Sasuke's eyes widen, hearing Naruto's alive, and so then Naruto appeared right behind them, saying, which one of you said my name? Immediately, Jugo dashed at Naruto, because he's the one that killed Orochimaru, but Jugo gets the same treatment with the hang on to the face. He's not dead, but he's on the ground unconscious. Probably in a coma. Suigetsu attacks Naruto, but quickly is met with lightning-style jutsu. And Naruto would use a lightning clone. Since that's Suigetsu, but Suigetsu just punches it, but it suddenly bursts in lightning. But letting Suigetsu, then Suigetsu's punch right in the chin, being knocked out. Karin attacks Naruto, but Naruto quickly would use a wind shield, and the chains bounce right off the windshield. The wind shield jutsu, not a windshield. But suddenly, Naruto would eventually end up just kind of doing one hand shield and say wind style tornado. Not the storm release, just Naruto doesn't know he uses it. He doesn't know. He thinks it's just wind style, but he's using all forms of chakra nature to use it. And the tornado's formed, sending Karin flying. Then Sasuke would attack Naruto, but Naruto ends up making a wind clone. That is called the intangible clone, or invincible clone. The clone cannot be touched. Sasuke cuts through the clone, but the clone isn't really... Well, he cuts it, but the clone doesn't poof away. Then it punches Sasuke right in the back of the head. The clone begins getting Sasuke the hands of the Anbu captains, and eventually Sasuke is defeated by the clone. Kabuto tried to touch the clone using his healing ninjutsu abilities, but no, the clone still isn't touched. And uses that good old Tsunade strength and breaks Kabuto's ribs, all of them, almost killing him. Kabuto didn't die because Naruto held back, not wanting to kill him, wanting to interrogate him instead. Well, the Ibiki gave Naruto a bit of interrogation training. The scary thing about it is, Naruto's better at it than Ibiki and Anko combined. This man will pull your fingers off. Pull your fingers off with no regrets. I said fingers, not fingernails. Fingers. He'll pull them off. But yeah. With Orochimaru attacks Naruto, hoping to catch him off guard, but Naruto glares at Orochimaru and activates his infinite Tsukuyomi, knocking Orochimaru out completely. With this, he's able to use clones to pick up everyone, and he brings back to the Hidden Leaf. So by the time they return, they're all put in prison cells and put under seals. Next arc is Itachi Pursuit, but no, that's Naruto's job now. He's on the Itachi Pursuit mission. And Jiraiya finally came back from his Mount Miboku training, and did for so long, he's basically as strong as canonical Sage Naruto. Or canonical Pain Arc Sage Naruto. He's on that level, it's just, he doesn't have as much chakra and doesn't have as big as a time limit. He has like a time limit relative to Minato. And I think Jiraiya himself could possibly use all the jutsu that Manpa Toad used. I think he could do all those jutsu, which I'll say he can in this What If. They're probably a bit stronger than Sage Naruto, but just has a very short time limit. So yeah. But let's move on to just, the Itachi Pursuit mission being Naruto's job only. And Naruto actually brings Suigetsu along because he doesn't know Itachi's, not Anbu, but his Akatsuki partner is, Kisame. And Suigetsu may know the most about him because he's from the Hidden Mist. So he brings Suigetsu along. He kind of doesn't know Suigetsu, he spent no time in the Hidden Mist, doesn't know that, but yeah, so he brings Suigetsu along with him. And then he brings along Karin, seeing her as useful. Plus Karin hears that Naruto's half Uzumaki. You can kind of see it because the outlines of his hair is red, or at least there's like tips of the hair are red. It's just his DNA is more, or his appearance is more dominantly Uchiha, while his chakra levels are more dominantly Uzumaki. As they're walking, Naruto says that they're a sub-Anbu group, but now by the name of Team Taka. He makes that name up. And Naruto basically made a sub-team consisting of Jugo, Karin, and Suigetsu, and says, until further notice, they are named Team Taka, but Jugo's in a coma because of me, so he can't be on the mission with us. But yeah, so eventually with this, they get to where Itachi is, but Kisame will confuse, asking if Naruto's Sasuke, and Naruto says he's not. But he's stronger than Sasuke. Kisame attacks Naruto, saying, sorry, you're going to have to die until Sasuke arrives. But Kisame swings his blade at Naruto. Suddenly Suigetsu would barge in, grabbing Kisame, and then body slam him. Or he thought he could, but Kisame doesn't budge a bit, until Kisame about to slash Suigetsu in half, or Naruto thought it would slash him in half, and he would block the other attack with his bare hand. This is nice with Kisame, because Naruto isn't even fazed by this. Immediately, Naruto feeds so much chakra into Shark Skin, and then Shark Skin feeds it back to Kisame. But Naruto had used 99 Seals chakra. Enough chakra to be toxic to humans. Kisame's Kisame, so with that, Kisame dies from the chakra. Kisame just falls over with his body just like morphing until eventually he just passes out and then dies. Now with that, Suigetsu picks up Shark Skin, and Shark Skin's only kind of such a drunk dose of chakra, it's not stabbing Suigetsu, so yeah. But Naruto would walk in, and Itachi would question Naruto, why is he here, not Sasuke? Naruto says that he had beaten Sasuke by taking him back from Orochimaru, and Sasuke is currently in Hidden Leaf prison. Itachi would gets ready for a fight until Naruto had sat down in front of Itachi, and Naruto pulled out a scroll. Poofing out from the scroll is sake and 2 cups. Naruto told Itachi that he's interested in a fight. He's interested in talking. Itachi's a little confusing. Really, I killed our clan, and the only thing you want to do is talk to me. Naruto said, "You know, everyone in that clan hated me. I have no association with them besides your family and mine, or your family and Chisui. That's it. It's the only association I had with the Uchiha, nothing more. That's not exactly wrong either, so, yeah." Itachi didn't jump behind Naruto but about to kill him, saying, "Sorry, but you lack hatred." When he steps Naruto, he poofs into crows, and suddenly Itachi's grabbed by Susanoo. Naruto's on the ceiling, and Naruto had said, "Here I was, hoping we'd talk, and I don't have to kill my brother, or my friend, or my brother's friend." Itachi then smirks, saying, "You're good, Naruto." Immediately, Itachi had to use Amaterasu, but quickly, a blade would block Amaterasu, absorbing the flames. Itachi would see the blade is made out of Amaterasu itself. Suddenly, Itachi is shocked, but Naruto puts Itachi down, releasing Susanoo, saying, "Just give up, I don't want you to go blind yet." With that, Naruto sat down from the sake cup, saying, sit down and drink, me and you will talk." Itachi, knowing he's probably at the complete disadvantage of Naruto, pours some sake, they both drink it, and Itachi talks about how Danzo had ordered the clan to be killed by Itachi. Their first thought was they could probably use, genjutsu via Shisui's, eye, but apparently they can't. And Naruto said, "Oh, I see, that's kind of bad, but, why didn't he they can see it as a bad plan, but why didn't they try it at least?" And with that, Itachi reveals that Danzo had killed Shisui. Naruto always suspected it because he felt Shisui's presence in Danzo's presence. He pointed that out, and Itachi says, because Danzo has one of Shisui's eyes. This makes Naruto discuss it, asking about the other eye, and Itachi will point to his other eye, saying, "That's Shisui's eye is right here." Naruto then asks about Itachi's eye, and Itachi then says, "Well, actually, it's not really Shisui's eye, but he's able to somewhat mimic the ability of it after he put it in his eye, but it took up too much chakra, so he took it out of his head." So Itachi is able to somewhat develop his kind of own Tsukuyomi ability, but not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's decent. Crow arrives, Naruto takes out Chisui's eye from the crow, and puts it in Naruto's own head. He put it in his left eye where the infinite Tsukuyomi was, but Naruto put it in there. This is actually now a permanent infinite Tsukuyomi. But when he uses it, well, he actually loses all sight in that eye for around 5 months. It's a perfect infinite Tsukuyomi that never breaks, even when Naruto loses eyesight for 5 months. It doesn't change at all. Just when Naruto gains eyesight back, well, the Genjutsu is still active. So yeah. The difference is, well, instead of you being wandering around and being frozen in place, well, roots grow, drag you underground, and keep you there. So, yeah. So with this, Naruto has one eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. One. With this, well, Naruto actually asks Itachi to come back to the Hidden Leaf, but Itachi would say no. Quickly, Itachi's hit in the gut by Naruto, before Itachi can even say why. And Naruto just dragged him back to the Hidden Leaf. Then when Itachi woke up, he'd already in the Hidden Leaf. Naruto, with his... pause more time, sorry. So, Naruto, with his Ashura, with him being the incarnation of Ashura and having a better connection with Indra and Hagoromo, he's able to fly with his fucking... What was it? With his, perfect Susanoo. He's able to fly with that. The coolest thing about it, one wing is made out of Amaterasu, other wing is made out of lightning. So yeah, so it's just getting near the wings, they trying to like blow them out of the air. Whatever I'm trying to use just gets destroyed completely because there's so much lightning and flames that just incinerates everything. But then at Konoha, Itachi is then put down, and Itachi's obviously unconscious, but he pretends to be unconscious. He's awake though. Itachi's put in Hidden Leaf prison with blindfolds around him, but he is guarded by Kakashi and Yamato. And eventually Sasuke hears that Naruto arrested Itachi, and Itachi's in the cell next to him. That Sasuke is told the whole truth by Itachi, as Sasuke's like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna kill you, but Itachi's like Naruto had to kill me, but he didn't take it, he knocked me out. And Itachi reveals why. That Sasuke begins crying, hearing that Itachi had no other choice. So yeah. But he asked Itachi if Naruto didn't plan to kill Danzo. Itachi had said he wouldn't be surprised if currently Danzo is dead. And he is not wrong. Naruto unleashed Orochimaru after figuring out that Danzo was working with Orochimaru, and basically told Orochimaru that he can be freed from Konoha prison if he tells Naruto how to defeat Danzo. Orochimaru talked about Danzo's arm, so Naruto that Orochimaru has his own phrase to actually to basically just cancel Shin out, like to basically just like a sleeper agent is kind of what Orochimaru can have Shin as. When he uses this phrase, it looks like Danzo's arm and completely disabling it. The thing that Danzo have left is one eye. But Naruto must take it before he can use Izanagi. The best chance he has is to use sleeper agent code immediately. Then, in a split second, take Danzo's eye before he can use it, and then cut off Danzo's arm. Naruto would nod, asking what arm it is, and Orochimaru's like, "Are you that dense you can't see the man covering up one arm the whole time? Are you that dense?" And Naruto's like, "Okay. No need to be mean. That's my bad." So yeah. Pause one more time, sorry. Okay, so you want to basically just see Naruto, who, well, first off, walks into the root hideout, and Danzo already knows what Naruto's here for. He brought in Itachi alive when Itachi's strictly supposed to be dead. But after so much pull, almost as much as a Kage, because somebody likes Naruto that much, he can basically give orders however he wants to. But this is the only thing that Naruto cannot do is declare war. Excuse me. And declare he can't declare laws and cannot declare war. That's the only thing he cannot do. Only things he can't do. So yeah. But Naruto walked in the hideout and Danzo immediately told everyone to kill Naruto. They destroyed Naruto, but quickly Naruto formed one suicidal arm that happened to have the Kokaku no Johei. But Naruto found another way to use Kokaku no Johei. He had to touch you as it was open. He had to get you near the opening, and then infuse chakra into the opening, which would suck you into it. Naruto found a way to wield it like that, so yeah. He was able to do that to most of the Anbu agents. He eventually summons his Amaterasu sword and begins cutting them to pieces, basically turning them to ash. Eventually, it's Danzo himself and his two other agents, being Torune and Fu. Fu tried to use Mind Transfer Jutsu, but the moment he goes in Naruto's mind, he gets immediately threatened by the Nine Tails and he leaves out of fear. Then Torune tries to touch Naruto, but the moment he does, well, Torune is then punched right in the chest and knocked out. Then Fu is kind of just like shaking in his boots until he's put under Genjutsu. Not even Tsukuyomi. He's put under Genjutsu and just passes out. Now Naruto ends up saying the phrase of the sleeper agent code, and Danzo's arm is so swiftly just like disabled. Naruto's put around, grabbing out one of his eyes and cutting off his arm. With that, he had basically stabbed Danzo right to the chest with a sword, telling Danzo that Danzo should have died in a worse way. But because Naruto wants to be nice to Hiruzen, he'll let Danzo give Danzo a very swift death. Eventually, he pulls out his sword and then slashes his head off, and Danzo didn't really feel a thing because his arm being cut off. Like, yeah, only thing he felt was his arm being cut off, and that's it. So with that, Naruto takes out his other eye, being the gravity one, puts in Chisui's eye, and then burns the other one, meaning burns the one he took out of his head. Then with this, eventually, he awakens another Tonemon-Gekko Sharingan, and now the gravity control eye can now actually expand his field from 5 feet to 10 feet. And plus, Naruto actually has a lot more chakra to use this, so yeah, and he won't go blind. Wait, pause one time. Okay, so Naruto eventually would basically just, first off, kill Danzo. But, Hiruzen and the elders are meeting with Tsunade and other clan heads. But Naruto walked in, as Tsunade asks Naruto what he's doing and what he has behind him. He throws the bag on the table, telling Hiruzen and the elders to open it. Open it, and immediately one elder jumps back saying, "Naruto, what have you done to him?" Naruto said, "I killed the bastard that had my clan killed." Now, Hiruzen, you have some explaining to do to me and Sasuke. But I'll let you live for now. Well, you two. Naruto went to play with the elder, saying, "You two don't deserve to live." Immediately puts him under Genjutsu, saying that if Hiruzen cannot give Naruto one good reason within one day why he couldn't tell Naruto and Sasuke, the two will die in the Genjutsu. Hiruzen will still try to tell Naruto and Sasuke reasons why the clan had died, but eventually they don't like either of the reasons, so Itachi is able to convince Naruto to let go of the Genjutsu. So, yeah. Oda tried to release from Genjutsu, but Tsunade just put them in prison, and asks Naruto what she should do about Hiruzen. Then Naruto then says there's no need to kill him, but Hiruzen should somewhat have his position, or somewhat have some of his authority pulled from Konoha. With that, some authority is pulled, and now Hiruzen has as much pull as a regular Jonin. So, yeah. But still, he has the respect. And they kind of burned on his body. He doesn't deserve the respect of being buried. Time to find what other arc is next. Because this is the whole Itachi pursuit mission. So there's no battle between brothers. There's no Seiton training arc. Naruto doesn't need Seiton. He doesn't use it. By the way, he doesn't really summon frogs at all either. He doesn't really use his summoning. He relies on Susanoo and gravity. That's really it. So the Seiton training arc was mainly for Jiraiya. The invasion of Pain arc is more or less Jiraiya invading the Hidden Rain. But we basically see Jiraiya invade the land away. Invade the hidden rain, and able to defeat all plus of Pain until he gets to Yahiko. He even defeated the Konan, which is pretty easy for him actually. And Nagato is just amazed that Jiraiya's this strong, and he doesn't realize it's mastered Sage mode. And Jiraiya does tell Nagato he cannot bring himself to kill or defeat Yahiko's corpse. But so until Nagato that Nagato will have one chance to prove that Nagato shouldn't die by Jiraiya's hands. And Jiraiya does say that if Nagato cannot provide him with a reason, he'll come back to the Hidden Rain and kill Nagato himself, and then he'll kill Konan as well. And he pushed the Yahiko back to the point where it's like almost out of chakra and will perish, but he leaves before it does that. So with that, we just see Naruto leave, and the Invasion of Pain arc is more or less Konan sneaking Nagato in, and also Jiraiya happens to be in Tsunade's office. Konan and Nagato sneak in, and they go into his office, and Nagato tells Jiraiya that Jiraiya seems to be too strong, and she asks Jiraiya his level of power in the village. Jiraiya would scoff, saying, "Honestly, Nagato, not even the strongest in the village." Nagato is shocked, and then the order of power is given. Strongest being Naruto, second strongest being Kakashi, third, Tsunade, fourth, Jiraiya, fifth, Sakura, or no, actually, I'm going off the allies. So off the allies, fifth is Sakura, or fifth would be Hiruzen, sixth, Sakura. Then Itachi, he won't tell anyone. He will not tell anyone. So Itachi is actually dying as we speak. His health is deteriorating rapidly. So seventh would be Itachi. But I'm telling you right now, he will not die. Naruto walked into a cell as he's dying. He was able to get him to be healed by the Nine Tails chakra. Naruto controls it whether it's toxic or not. He's able to control that. So that doesn't kill Itachi, but more or less just heals him. But when Itachi is healed, he rose up to surpass Hiruzen and Sakura in power, going to be around like fifth strongest. So Naruto, Kakashi, Jiraiya, Tsunade, then Itachi. So Itachi's like fifth strongest, which is still shocking. But yeah, so when that order's announced, Nagato's amazed, but scared to see what the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki could do. With this, he announces that he'll be leaving Mikatsuki on the condition that Jiraiya won't kill him and leave the Yahiko corpse alone. Naruto agrees with this and actually asks Nagato to bring someone else along, besides Konan. Nagato says no, and then Naruto points out Black Zetsu, not too far away from the building. Or points out someone near the building that's trying to hide underground. And immediately Nagato had said this Black Zetsu, or Black and White Zetsu, tried to get him away from me as fast as possible. He's the right-hand man of Naruto Uchiha. Before Zetsu can get away, Naruto appeared right above them, stabbing kunai right into their head, or in White Zetsu's head, and lightning sent right through the whole head, killing White Zetsu and paralyzing Black Zetsu. Ozo appeared, comboing away himself. He appeared, then comboing away again with Black Zetsu with him. So yeah. Pause. Next arc would be the five Kage Summit. The Tsunade attends it, and the guard for Tsunade being Naruto. Then the guard, Tsunade's guard is Naruto. Then the guard next Naruto is going to be also Kakashi. Then outside we'd have basically Tsunade and Shino. Not Tsunade, I mean. Outside we would have Sai and Shino. Yeah, Yamato's nearby as well. You guys want about Shino? Well, Tornado was defeated, and Naruto said that the Anbu needed a stronger Aburame to be with them. But all the root that Naruto defeated that were put in the ceiling pot were put in the team row. But they'd use again jutsu to wipe their minds of what Danzo did to them. So yeah, they have no memory of Danzo. They just know how to use their abilities, and they taught the illusion that Hyuga taught them how to do all this. They were taught like all the other Danzo went to Hiruzen immediately. So they don't know who Danzo is. But yeah. But we can go on to like I guess we can go on to like just the meeting going according to plan. Is just the attack is Obito and Black Zetsu. That's really it. Black Zetsu and Obito. And Kakazu and Hidan didn't really happen because there's no reason for that to happen. I'm going to tell you why it didn't happen. Deidara and Sasori were killed by Naruto. Shikamaru and Choji are clan heads, and they're trained by Asuma. Well, most likely Asuma's team would consist of these clan heads. So there's really too much worry for them about to be killed. So they're not on the mission. There's too much of a risk for capture and death. So they're not on the mission. I forgot to go over that earlier. I'm sorry. But the whole basically attack on the Kakage-sama is Obito, Black Zetsu, Hidan, and Kakazu. The attack begins with basically just we see Black Zetsu come out of the ground saying that the Katsuki's here before they know where. Suddenly we see Kakazu appear, grabbing Onoki by the neck, slamming him into the table. But suddenly Onoki turned into a piece of wood, and Naruto had appeared right in front of Kakazu, and quickly 5 stabs were sent out right into all of Kakazu's hearts. Everyone's confused why Naruto putting his sword away. So suddenly they see Kakazu fall to the ground, and they see small stab wounds into his chest and into his back. It's not Hidan that Kakazu was killed that fast by Naruto. This is something Hidan charged at Naruto. But Naruto grabbed Hidan by the head and channeled so much mental chakra through his body that it just poisoned him. Like, he won't die from it, but he wanders outside, passing out and falling to the ground, just staying there. And the thing is, they cannot extract the tail B chakra. They don't know how to do it. Like Zetsu even took over his body and he couldn't extract the chakra. It was just so deep into his body, it wouldn't leave. So Black Zetsu just like, alright, then Hidan's just going to stay there for a while then. So the only option he has is basically just to die or master it, and I'm betting on death. Then Obito will be attacking Naruto, and Naruto and Obito will be swapping hands. With Naruto getting a lot more chakra, and being able to use his Sharingan a bit better, he's able to actually go on par with Obito, being able to go even beyond Obito's power. Actually, Obito's mask had come off as Naruto learned how to just get into the Kamui dimension after revealing that similar to Kamui. Kakashi tells Naruto basically to fire off his strongest attack, and then I'll Kamui it away. Naruto already throwing off basically a wind release, not wind release, but a vanishing Rasen Shuriken. A vanishing Rasen Shuriken, you heard me right. Naruto took fight outside and threw it, then Kakashi Kamui it away. When it was Kamui'd away, well, it appeared in the Kamui dimension, hitting Obito right in the face. Obito isn't dead because his body is in the Kamui dimension, but his face is pretty badly injured. Obito's kind of just staggering a bit. Suddenly he's put under infinite Tsukuyomi by Naruto's one eye. With that, Naruto falling to his knees, almost passing out. Or is he just panting heavily? As Naruto's panting, he then says, "This one took so much power." Obito falls over, and then it's released by Naruto. What Naruto had done is he's using Genjutsu to wipe out all bits of memory that Obito ever had of just the time between Tenchi Bridge. Actually, no. What it could have done, it could have been more or less just, I guess what we could have done is basically just wipe Obito all knowledge of Madara and Madara's plan. Obito just did random things that were bad. And that kind of brought out the kid in Obito again, as Obito's now allowed to have a childhood back in his mind. And Obito's a little confused. Kashi tells Obito there's no need to discuss that right now. They just need to leave. And before Obito and Kashi could leave, Black Zetsu appeared, saying he'll kill Obito if he needs to revive Madara. But quickly Kashi Kamui'd away Black Zetsu, saying you can stay there for now. And Naruto immediately told Kamui him away to the Kamui dimension. He needs to have a word with him. Kakashi does what Naruto would ask, being put in the Kamui dimension, and finds Black Zetsu. When he finds him, what Naruto does is basically just use a sealing juice he learned from Jiraiya, and it seals him away. So yeah. It seals him away, well, this actually would conclude the Fourth Great Shinobi World War, because Black Zetsu sealed away and distant in the Kamui dimension. So yeah. Oh, pause real quick. So Black Zetsu sealed away. Itachi and Sasuke are both in prison. Itachi kind of needs a prison sentence because he killed a whole clan, but he was ordered by Hiruzen, so he's not gonna be in there for long. But he needs at least 1 year in prison. Well, by the way, Tsunade healed him with Naruto's help as well, and Sakura's help as well. But yeah, next important thing probably be the whole Toneri thing. And during this time, well, Sakura and Sasuke and Naruto are the ones to go. Sasuke's in Konoha right now. He's always in Konoha. He served a prison sentence instead of atoning for his sins. Prison was his atonement. And he served a whole year with Itachi. And they were cellmates. It was just they couldn't see each other. Well, Itachi was happy he got to know how big Sasuke had gotten once he's able to see again. Like, they occasionally would have their seals off. It was just they didn't get to see any cellmates. They got to walk around outside for a bit. Just so they weren't too unused to seeing. But yeah, so Naruto, Sakura, Hinata, and Sasuke are all going to the moon to get Hanabi back. As they get to the moon, we see Hinata basically being able to defeat every single person that comes across her. Same with Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata, but all of them are able to defeat everyone that comes across them. Instantly, it leads to Sasuke versus Toneri, and then Naruto and Sasuke end up beating Toneri. The thing is, they did not meet the sage yet, because there's no need. Naruto was already broken as is. But eventually, Toneri uses his full power with the Tensegon, and he's pushing Naruto and Sasuke back significantly. So Naruto eventually would actually meet the sage, who are being stabbed in the chest with a sword that can cut the moon in half. Naruto can cut the moon in half too, it's just it would take forever. It would take him, like, weeks. But he's Amaterasu who's strong, but not that strong to do it in minutes. It would take him at least a month to cut the moon completely in half. But yeah, like it would take controlling Amaterasu, using it in the exact same spot. It would take a lot of focus. But yeah. Eventually, Naruto and Sasuke met the sage. Naruto met the sage, which kind of led to chain reaction with Sasuke. And Hagoromo was like, you never had to meet my mother, thankfully. But I'm gonna give you guys enough power to actually will destroy the moon itself, which would destroy my mother as well, because you guys seem to be strong enough. So yeah. At this point, Naruto and Sasuke are around like Madara, but in his like, well, Naruto maybe a bit above Madara, but not like. Oh, I would put Madara at like. I put Naruto probably at like. Not 10 Tails and Cherokee Madara, but like Madara when he has like the one Rinnegan. He's like one Rinnegan in Sage mode. That Madara is like comparing to Naruto right now. Then we have Sasuke who's comparing to Blind Madara. So yeah, they're barely stronger than each other. But when they meet the Sage, they eventually grow. Well, they're beyond 10 Tails Madara. Naruto basically reaches level he is in Boruto, but in KCM 1. Naruto can't use KCM, it's just he doesn't use it. He doesn't need to. He did try using it in Toneri, it's just he didn't have enough power to do so. He isn't that strong. He never experienced enough effort to need to train KCM, never needed to. So, because he never trained KCM, didn't need to, there's no war going on. He just beat absolute hell out of just Toneri and KCM. Like, he compared to Toneri, but that's about it. He compared to him. He doesn't have KCM too. But eventually we go on to basically see Naruto, who goes on to defeat Toneri with his KCM 2 power. And he basically punched absolute hell out of Toneri. Sent him flying halfway across the moon. Then Sasuke jumped in the air, as Naruto had grabbed Hinata and Sakura and jumped in the air as fast as possible. And Naruto had learned Flying Raijin after learning about Minato being his father. He learned that during those few years. He learned Flying Raijin because of that. So he jumped in the air, Sasuke charged up Chidori, slamming it into the moon as full as possible, using all the sage powers. They got the Sun and Moon seals, just they didn't use on Kaguya or Naruto. Naruto technically didn't use his yet. Sasuke would use all his power to basically destroy the moon completely and Kaguya herself. But this before they die in space, Naruto is able to get to Sasuke and flying them all back to Earth. They land with all gasping and panting for air, and Kakashi asked where the moon had went. Naruto said, "Long story short, we'll never have another war because of the moon again." Kakashi's questioning what Naruto means by that. So Kakashi currently is the 6th Hokage. Naruto explains everything and why the moon is gone. Because there wasn't a moon until 1,000 years ago. The world survived just fine. So yeah, using 1,000 year ago logic, the life stays the same. There's just no moon. That's really it. It's the only difference. But yeah. And no one seems to have a problem with it because the moon doesn't really do a thing in the Naruto-verse besides hold Kaguya. So, yeah. But Sasuke completely destroyed it. He completely destroyed Kaguya herself, the Ten Tails Husk. He destroyed everything. So even if like Zetsu were to be unsealed, he would not be able to revive Kaguya now. She is dead. Completely dead. The next few years arrive, Boruto goes on. We got Naruto versus Momoshiki. And Naruto gives Momoshiki the hands, because Naruto has Sage Chakra now. Well, his Sage Chakra evolved both the Sharingan to at least one of them to a Rinnegan, gave Naruto full access to Infinite Tsukuyomi in one eye. Like, he has full access without going blind for a few months. So as he fights Momoshiki and Kenshiki, well, he fights them both himself, because Sasuke still got beaten by them, but Itachi and then Sasuke and Obito arrived, alongside Kakashi. Like, Team Ro consists of Naruto being the leader, Itachi being his vice captain now, Kakashi Tokage. Sakura is Naruto's wife in this one. Sasuke married Hinata. I said they'd be doing that before. Yeah, so a few things kind of just happen. But Itachi, Obito, Sasuke, Kakashi, those four jump in and begin fighting Kenshiki for Naruto plus the Kage. And they defeat him pretty easily at that, because Itachi is like Amaterasu's man out of existence. But they see Naruto fighting Momoshiki on par with him. So Momoshiki would fuse with Kenshiki. But the thing is, Naruto is still on par with this Momoshiki, and he's in KCM2 and is on par with him. And Naruto does use a sword. It's just he can use two hands on the blade, unlike a certain Uchiha boy, a certain Rinnegan with Tomoe boy. Naruto inherited the Sage's Rinnegan, not the Tomoe Rinnegan. So yeah. But Naruto has pent up so much Sage energy to the point where Sun Seal will actually stay after, like, he can use it once, that's about it. Not once, I mean, he can use it twice, but one use is actually okay right now. But Naruto, when everyone tries to help, he says he can handle it himself. And he says that, he slams his palm right into this fused Momoshiki's chest, sealing him away completely. So, yeah, he has one more use of this. So, yeah. But with that leads to the defeat of, well, Momoshiki. And he's just kind of stuck in this dimension. He can't break out of it. It's impossible. Now that this head back, most fights happen the same way, even if they're non-canon. Next fight would be Naruto versus Delta. Naruto still adopted Kawaki, and Naruto does basically. Let's say Naruto only has one kid, being Boruto. Himawari is the daughter of Sasuke and Hinata. And the thing is, well, their main kid is still going to be Sarada. So, yeah. Actually, I'm going to call her daughter Haruta. So, yeah. Haruta. And it's a girl, still. Just Haruta doesn't wear glasses like Sarada does. And Naruto and Sakura have Boruto. That's really it. Till Kawaki is adopted. And their kid is still Boruto. It's just Boruto has he has black hair like Naruto. Well, the tips of his hair are pink. He doesn't have a choice. They're naturally pink. So yeah. But we just move on and go to the Delta fight. Kawaki for the first time to see at least 10% of Naruto's power, and sees Naruto beat the absolute hell out of Delta with no problems at all. Like not even KCM is needed. Like he knows she can absorb chakra, so he does. Go into Susanoo and hit her with the Kahaku no Johei, and she is done for. She's sealed away permanently. There are still Anbu members in the Kahaku no Johei. There's still people in there that are just stuck in time. Kawaki asks Naruto what happens in there, and Naruto just says that they're frozen in time permanently until he releases them. I think the only person that would not be affected by this is Jigen, probably, because he's really strong. But yeah, so Jigen arrives eventually, and Naruto fights Jigen in KCM2 and proves to be a really strong opponent. It was just Jigen's still a lot stronger. But eventually, Jigen has to fight Naruto again, and it's Naruto and Sasuke. And Itachi this time, because Itachi has internal Mangekyo Sharingan. And Kakashi does eventually return his Sharingan, return Obito's Sharingan to Obito. Obito does so Kakashi, there's a whole, storage space he has filled with Sharingan. Kakashi can just take one of those, and Kakashi does takes a random Sharingan with no Mangekyo. Actually, no, let's say he can find Fugaku Sharingan and takes that. He finds Fugaku's and takes that. So he uses that Sharingan. And say actually, no, he wouldn't have to, he can just see through time a bit. But yeah. So there's now 4 perfect Susanoo resting in Konoha. 4 of them. Obito has Hashirama cells, so he kind of gets the effect of eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. So 4 perfect Susanoo, 4 of them. And they beat the absolute hell out of Jigen. Or if they think it would, till he's been shrinking and feeding them all. But Naruto was able to cut off one of Jigen's arms with his Amaterasu blade, and Itachi and Sasuke controlling how big the blade is. Sasuke had found where Jigen was. He told Itachi to fuse it with Amaterasu. Itachi does just that. And then, we see Sasuke shrink the size of the blade, and then it cuts, Jigen's arm off. Jigen eventually would leave, with his arm being missing. And then, Ishiki is still formed. They have to fight Ishiki. And long story short, they, Bear mode is not needed. Naruto used the rest of his power in his in his Sun Seal to seal away Ishiki. He wasn't going to seal away Jigen. He was going to seal away Ishiki, because he did say if he sealed away Jigen, he may end up losing, may end up losing Jigen, because Ishiki would be made. He was able to basically seal away Ishiki after weakening him enough. So yeah, they had stabbed him over and over with Amaterasu blades. They ganged up on him. He was just defeated. But yeah, so eventually he dies while being sealed. He just dies of natural causes while being sealed. Unnatural causes, because he was stabbed to death most of the time. But yeah. Now with this, we just end Boruto here with Code. Code can be, put in the Kaku no Johei, because he's not on Jigen's level just yet. The thing is, no one knows about the Kaku no Johei, because Naruto doesn't use it. He doesn't use it enough. It wasn't used enough, and only one that knew about it would be, Kashin Koji. But Kashin Koji doesn't exist because Jiraiya is alive. He's perfectly fine. He's an elder in Konoha. So yeah. So Naruto does eventually end up basically going on the whole thing, with Code. Code's in the name it's called. Code is caught off guard until in the Kaku no Johei. There, Boruto's done. Anyone else left in Kara can be killed with no effort. That's really it. Besides that one little boy. Kaku no Johei. There, it's done. Naruto has Kaku no Johei for a reason. So yeah, this ends this what if. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe, comment for another what if. I guess the next ones would be the Super Saiyan God Goku what if, or the what if he was born with God Ki what if, and then the Blue Lock what if. I hope you guys enjoyed this what if. Just like for another what if. Goodbye.